Welcome to No Fugazee Podcast. I'm your host, Cooley. Tonight is debate night and reaction night. Let's get into it. Actually, Gabby, you done. And you want to leave too? This is how our relationship goes. God over man, man over woman, woman over children. All right, we are back, ladies and gents. Go ahead and close this right here. Okay, so tonight, open debate panel. Anyone that wants to join the stream, you are welcome to join the stream. We got the link in the YouTube description. Go ahead and click that link. I'll bring you on up. We could debate about anything you want to debate about: male and female intersexual dynamics, politics, religion, anything, any type of content of mine that you see that you disagree with. I run these open debate panels twice a week. So, you can come on here, and if you have a point of contention or you're just a hater, click that link. Don't be scared, and we can debate. Challenge me on my worldview. We'll also be reacting to a bunch of clips today. I seen a lot of people have been telling me as well about the Terrence Howard. He's back and he's on the PBD podcast. He went on there, I believe. Well, it premiered Friday. I watched a little bit of it, and we're going to react to a clip of that. Then we also are going to react to, I did a debate on, I believe it was on Thursday. I did a debate on Fatty's podcast. Anton Daniels came on there, but he came on there as I was leaving. But on that panel, I debated a few people on there. A few feminists was on there that I obliterated. So we'll react to that. Since that debate wasn't streamed live on my channel, I'll go ahead and give a reaction to it today. Without further ado, let's get to the normal scheduled program. And we got a few links in the YouTube description. First link is going to be for the stream. So if you want to go ahead and debate tonight about anything, go ahead and click that first link. The next link is going to be for the membership. We got 3 tiers. First tier is gang. Second tier is hitman. Third tier is mob ties. You join any of those tiers, you locked in with us. You get all of these different perks and stuff like that too with becoming a member. The next link is going to be for the Clips channel. Subscribe to the Clips channel, please. And then we have all of our social media links. We got the Instagram, the X account, the Facebook. We have it all there. The TikTok account, we have all of our links. If you want to follow us or if you want to get in contact with us directly, hit us up via social media or on the email that's listed as well. Other than that, let's get into some reactions. Wait, before I do that, let's give a quick update in regards to the last full panel girl show that I had, which was just this past Friday. It was interesting, to say the least. We had 5 women on the panel. 4 of them were, let's say, ex-dancers, scrippers. 4 of them were scrippers. And then one was, I think she sold cars. So that was their careers. It was an interesting panel. 4 of them was also from Philly as well. Maybe one from Baltimore. And then, the one other girl, she was just a car salesman. But go ahead and check out the last girls panel that I did on Friday. It was interesting. A lot of victim mindset. You had 4 black girls. It was a lot of not just only victim mindset, but like low IQ. A lot of, things that we always speak about here about females' nature. They just confirmed it over and over just by them speaking or asking them simple little questions. They'll literally prove my points right just by them behaving. So check out that stream. Other than that, man, let's hop into some of these reactions, man. I want to kind of get right into it tonight. Also, hopefully we get some good people to join the stream, get these debates popping off. I am doing a debate tomorrow. It's not going to be live on my podcast here, but it's going to be on, I believe it's called Raging Tomatoes. I'm going to be debating toxic masculinity, I do believe. I got to look it over to see the topic. I didn't even prep for it, but I'm going to look it over and I'll let you guys, well, I'll obviously after that airs, I'll most likely do a reaction to that debate as well. But yeah, it should be very interesting. So that's going to be tomorrow on Raging Tomatoes podcast. All right. Also, chat, if y'all keep hearing me doing this with my nose, hey man, it's that time of the year. Allergies is kicking in. Let's get to the first clip. The first clip, you know what? We're going to save the fatty debate for a moment. Then we're going to get to the reaction with Terrence Howard. So first, now you know what? Let's do it here. Yeah, let's get to the fatty debate first. So they invited me on to a super panel. That's what they called it. And shout out to them guys over there too. They doing their thing. All right. Let's see. Everybody on Facebook, I'll stay live on Facebook for maybe 30, 45 minutes. So prepare to come on over to YouTube at No Fugazee Podcast on YouTube. All right. Okay, here we go. Let's see the timestamp for this one. Let's play it from here real quick.
What about like Tom Brady? What about Will Smith? What about Dr. Dre? Like we have it's not just the top of the line men that are kind of like a little bit on the part of the lame when it comes to women. Even the man with the charisma, with the status, like look at what happened to Johnny Depp, for example. That man went through hell with Amber Heard, even though he's Jack Sparrow, right? So, and y'all can get it after this. There's no need for us to wait for it. I don't believe, like when we say do it for yourself, I actually agree with Cooley. I just think if most men was doing for themselves, they would live on a 1-bedroom apartment and they'll be okay. They wouldn't even have furniture. They wouldn't have nothing on the wall. They had a bunch of plain t-shirts.
Look at that chick down there shaking her head like, we the reason why men do it. Watch me debunk all of this stuff.
Shirts and shorts if they live on a place where they can walk on flip-flops every day.
And quick little thing so y'all understand what y'all watching. Again, to all the newcomers that's coming in, this is me reacting to a debate that I was invited on just this past Thursday. This particular piece of the conversation is in regards to a discussion about the reason why men do the things and accomplish the things that they do is because it's for women. Fatty, this gentleman here, stated that men accomplish most of these things or all of these things because, you know, women. And if women wasn't around, pretty much that's what he said. If women wasn't here, guys wouldn't be as motivated and really be as assertive to be creating and being in competition with one another. So let's continue it.
Men, for the most part, if they are not trying to raise their level to get women at the end of the day, they will be as, like, the economy will collapse if women disappear from this planet, because we wouldn't buy shit. We'll buy toilet paper. That's the only thing we buy, right? So I really wonder, and I would like...
So in regards to that part that he said, the economy would collapse. Well, women, that is one part is a fact. Women, I believe, hold 80% of consumer debt. So women are the ones that spend the most bread. They're out there spending and making money. So that isn't the part that I had the point of contention with. The point of contention is the reason why men do things is for women. So you'll hear me get into it.
Like a woman to go next and to answer these. Like, what do y'all want?
Hey, Fatty, I got a question for you, though.
Absolutely.
On what you
Go
just
ahead.
said. Yeah, so I would disagree with that entire presupposition of what you laid out there. Because what you're essentially saying is men do not have a natural proclivity to be in competition with one another. And we know that that's untrue just as little boys. As little boys, we see that we play all of the things that we play as little kids. It would be competition based, meaning that there's a clear winner and a clear loser. So we play games like freeze tag and, you know, stuff like that. Women, they go towards things that's not competition based. They play things like hopscotch and house. You get what I'm saying? So
Yes.
I think that men have a natural proclivity to go towards competition. So even if it wasn't women around, that doesn't mean that men still wouldn't compete with one another and still try to, you know, strive to be the best versions of themselves, because we naturally compete all the time with men.
I agree with you. I don't disagree. Let me just say one thing and you got it, right? Everybody playing basketball having fun. Kelly, Yonsi, pretty intellectual, and they can't come to the playground. Now we try to dunk on people, cross you over. Oh, shit. Like it's our nature. I think we are competitive by nature, but as soon as you put an attractive woman in the building, like we go extra, right? I think we will be still competitive. I think we still want to work as men. I'm kind of.
And what Fatty is saying here, he isn't correct. He isn't incorrect at all. He's saying that, you put a pretty chick in the gym while you're working out, you're gonna have your blood gonna be flowing a little bit more. You maybe could lift a little bit heavier. So that what he's saying is correct, but the presupposition of what he presupposes of why the reason why men have this competitive edge is because of women. So I'm going to break that down even more, and then I'll give my main thoughts to it as well.
Like get bored just by being just laying around, just not doing nothing. But the extra that is going to make you be, innovate, want to be a billionaire, want to go to the moon, want to go the extra step. I think most of these men do it for status and do it for women. And when it comes, if status wasn't correlated to woman, I think a lot of men would say, you know what? Appreciate it. I have $70,000 on the shitty area. I have air conditioning rolling, a PlayStation. I have everything going on. My neighbors are cool. I have a dog. I think I'm good to go. So I agree with you. I just think there's levels to it. And for most men, they wouldn't buy a Ferrari or they wouldn't rent a Ferrari in Miami if it wasn't for the bitches. They would for the lovely ladies.
Thank you.
And I get what you say to an extent, but the point that I'm making, which is what I'm trying to present here, is that men, we have a clear, inherent biological, it's like a natural propensity to create. So I would say that men have a natural propensity to create and a natural proclivity to be in competition with one another. So since we're always going to be creating, like it's in our nature to create, all of the things that you're seeing that we've created most of it was created by men. You get what I'm saying? Of course, yes. Women created some things too, but since we have a natural propensity to create, we want to create things. But what's the reason why we want to create things? Because we have this natural tendency, which is this proclivity to be in competition with one another. So I think that's the driving force to the creation. So we create. So let me break it down. The natural propensity is there, but the driving force is the competition to create. So the natural propensity is the creation for us to create. The natural proclivity, the tendency, what's driving the creation is the competition, not chicks.
Yeah, but
I think that when you start leaning into females, now there is an extent where there are some guys that would just totally do things for females, and I would agree that in some circumstances,
like what's the trophy? We compete, right? Competing is to win.
We compete.
When we win, what is the trophy?
The trophy is the status you
men
get.
do not
have
men
do
not have a
locker room.
propensity to
Bro,
create.
I'm better than you.
So I'm better than you. I compete. Okay.
Yeah, so right here, as you're seeing, He said, well, what's the trophy? This is when you're looking from a lens of men wanting to pedestalize women and make them the trophy. This is what simps do. So simps do things for women. Real men do things for themselves. And the driving force is the competition with other men. Like, we're not really competing with other women. No, we're competing with other men. And the byproduct is women. That's the thing. The byproduct of a man being ambitious, a man being assertive, and a man going out there and putting his all into something, the byproduct is more chicks. That's what that is. So chicks is just an incentive. They're just an incentive. They're not the reason why men actually go out there and create and compete. That's the thing that he doesn't understand. But let's play a little bit more. And I think to some areas he do understand, because he never fully said he disagreed, but you'll see where what he just said, he's like, well, what's the, why do we do it? It's, for chicks. He's still insinuating that.
Woman.
Status for what? I can status for chicks.
I think
Simps do it for chicks. And usually when you do anything for chicks, you don't get the chicks. All real guys know that. When you out here doing the most for a woman, you already know that doesn't work. If you're good with women, if you're out there trying to really do the most for a girl, you know that turns the woman off, because women get repulsed by thirsty behavior. So even if she senses, and think about it, they're very social, and they really good at picking up different social cues like body language and a multitude of other things. So they can sense if you're trying too hard or trying, just for them. And masculinity is not trying just for them. When a woman sees that a man is masculine, it's like, oh, he don't even need me. He just out there going to get it. And those are the type of men that women are attracted to. Not the men that is like, oh yeah, he's just for me. Those men that say happy wife, happy life. No, those marriages end. They end pretty fast. Let's continue on a little more, see what happens.
Hold on. I got something.
And by the way, just 1 second.
I think the byproduct is girls. Like the after effect of it is chicks.
Driving force.
I just want to say this before we go. It's going to be a very extremely difficult panel to manage.
Okay, cool. So, and here's my perspective. I even wrote down some notes as well on this, because it's just, it's like, if you take on the worldview that the reason why men are ambitious and asserting themselves and doing things, this would insinuate that the man was created for the woman. And the Bible tells you that no, the woman was created for the man. And prior to the woman, if we're speaking biblical real quick, which is a very, very old text, prior to the woman, the man was already here. So you think when Adam was here, he was just not doing anything, not creating? He was still doing a whole lot of stuff. And the woman was there as a helpmate. So obviously he had to be doing things and being ambitious and creating and doing these things, but the woman being an helpmate. Well, to help him with what he's already creating. Like I said, an incentive. Chicks is just an incentive, bro. So here's some notes that I took down on this. And when you're looking at this, in fact, men tend to lose their competitive edge when they get into relationships. Think about that. Normally when guys get into relationships, they become more docile. They're not really hanging out with the homies. They being complacent. They feel comfortable, right? They start to get that little belly gut, like, oh yeah, I see you. And you could tell the guys that's just kind of like lost their edge because they lose that motivation. And you can tell like, oh, you're in a relationship with some chick and you're pedestalizing her and you're going home at a certain time and you're doing all of these things to adhere to some woman. They lose their competitive edge. And they don't lose it because they've accomplished what they wanted. They lose it because they're spending more time with the female instead of their male counterparts, which would further prove other men are the actual driving force of a man's natural competitiveness, right? In a locker room, when boys is very young and, we're being competitive and we go into the locker room, we're not talking about no chicks besides the chicks that, if it's about that type of topic, like, oh, you bagged this chick, you did this. But if it's a competition, no, we're in a locker room like, yeah, I beat you. Yeah, I'm better than you. You're not stronger than me. Even at the regular gym, we in competition with other men. When I go to the gym and I see these big old muscle head dudes, now I'm 6'4", like 205. I see these big old muscle heads in the gym. These dudes is most likely on some roids or something, but they benching crazy. They lifting real heavy. They squatting real heavy. And you know what? I'm not on the juice, but I'm still very competitive. So when I'm working out and there's a juice head by me, I still want to lift a little heavier. Like a lot more heavier, right? If a chick is around, I don't really care about lifting more heavier. It's just like, I see how that can be a motivation for some men to maybe want to, not make an ugly face when they're working out. That would probably be the only thing. Like, usually when you're working out, you're making almost ugly, you're making a horrible faces. Then with a pretty chick come around, maybe you kind of trying to breathe out your nose, maybe not seem like you out of breath, like, you know what I'm saying? Maybe that's the most you'll do. That ain't really putting on more weight trying to seem like the Hulk. When the big homies is around in the gym, then you like, nah, man, you ain't stronger than me, bruh. You ain't stronger than me. But yeah, so that's my thoughts on that. That was one part of this debate where it was interesting because most men would say that, and even me when I was like younger and I really didn't think about things like fully through, I would even say that sometimes, like, yo, I mean, like, listen, if chicks wasn't around, like, what's the point? You know what I'm saying? Like, you would say it, but that isn't even true. So we have to stop those things from being said that is not true, or combat those things that are being said that is not true with the truth. And the facts is the biology of the man trumps all. The biology of the man is made to create and made to compete with other men. All right, let's go. And chicks is just an incentive. All right, let's get to another clip here on this same thing. And here's a part where I debated the feminist. So, okay, I think I got that one here. Yeah, here we go.
Previous.
To help you out.
Yeah, I think that every men and women are competitive. I think they're competitive in different ways. I don't think competition is synonymous with man. I think women compete all the time. But what I don't agree with, y'all, no. Men are not naturally better at creating. Let's not be about the BS. Men are destroyers, okay? Just like you got what you got, Majin Buu up there as your little person. Yeah, men, you know what y'all are? Y'all are the destroyers, okay?
Damn, even Majin Buu can get it. That's crazy.
What have women created?
Let's be very
What have women created?
One second, please. Let her finish your point, please. And shout out to Anton for the $500. Hey, Anton, you gave us the blueprint and you said for us to go corporate. This is what we're trying to do. So when we start to do shows just like you, they'll be better at this, okay? Appreciate you, sir. Thank you very much for the massive donation. Okay, go. Pretty. Can you put the helmet, please? Put the helmet before you talk, please. I want you to be safe.
So she pretty much just said men destroy, women create. Let's keep going.
Around here, you said men are destroyers, women are creators. What do you mean by that?
I mean, let's be real. Like, the fact of the matter is, the reason why you're saying that men are competitors is because they're not competitors just to say I won. They're competitors because they crave hierarchy, right? They crave power. Power destroys. Power does not create. It doesn't. I'm sorry. It doesn't. Power does not create. Please tell me how power has created. Power literally centralizes resources and sprinkles them out, and then people suffer. Okay?
Yes, she's delusional. As you can see here, chat, this is what you call a delusional woman. She says power destroys. No, sweetheart. Any power in the wrong hands destroys. There's many people that utilize power for many good things. Think about, different charities, different, people give donations out and stuff like that. This is the money that they earn through their hard work, which is money to an extent, helps you to is a source of power, and it can be used for goodness. Think about a man that saves. Think about a man that saves a woman from a predator, or a man that saves a family from a burning building. This man is powerful and courageous to run in there and save people. So she's looking through a lens of being a victim. So when you have this victim mindset, you see like most things as negative, right? Most things as negative. And women naturally are neurotic creatures, meaning that they feel a lot of negative emotions towards situations. So with that being said, it's nothing, abnormal for her to make a statement like that, because you're a woman. And not saying that all women would make that statement, but it makes sense for a feminist woman to make that statement, to think that just power in general is bad. No, silly girl, power in the wrong hands are bad. Anything in the wrong hands are bad. Think about a gun that can save someone's life due to in a situation where there's a perpetrator trying to end an innocent person's life. Meaning that there's a murderer or someone that's trying to attempt murder to end an innocent person's life. They have a gun trying to do it, and that gun has power, but they're putting that power to bad use. On the other side, there's another person with the gun that kills the person that was about to commit murder, and they save the other person's life. So it's like, no, you don't even truly think about the things that you say. You just think. You just say things without thinking. Like, you lack critical thinking skills, and y'all gonna see it. I'll continue to play it on.
So no, it doesn't create. Women are creators. Women create. Women create.
So,
women
Can I ask you a
question real quick?
I'm asking Fatty, like, hey man, Fatty, let me speak real quick.
Let me get Diesel and Cooley real quick.
I gotta build everything.
So if women are, you say women are creators, but weren't some wars fought because of women?
Yes, absolutely. Because of y'all.
Because that woman. No, because that. So there's never been a woman behind that
I'm just fast forwarding to the part where I cook her.
man as a battery in their back, telling them, yeah, right.
You gotta get him back.
You gotta get him back. You better go down.
No, ask that question.
Chat is by your name. What's your name?
I'm sorry.
So this is where I cook her.
I'm going to take the banner out of
Pretty.
Yes,
Pretty.
Oh, pretty, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, Pretty. Do you have like a real name or no?
No, pretty's good.
Pretty's good. Okay, Pretty. Well, it's time to obliterate your entire worldview. We'll start with it very simple. Y'all like how I set people up with it? I'm like, yeah. It's time to obliterate your entire worldview. Do y'all like how I let them know before I give them their demise? It's like the setup. It's perfect. It's cocky, but it's perfect. It's perfect. Let's continue on. I'm going to break it down very tactical and precise for you, right? Yeah. So you said men are destroyers, women are creators. Mm-hmm. Explain to me, if men are destroyers, why have women destroyed the nuclear family because they initiate 70 to 80% of the divorces? Explain to me, why do women abort 1 million babies per year? Explain that to me. Bombs. Hey, dropping bombs on shorty. Explain that to me. Also, when you say that power is destroys, no, let me correct you. Power in the wrong hands, it destroys. You get anyone that has, nefarious ways or wants to, do bad things. Of course, they'll do evil things and they will destroy. But power in good hands, you would say that Jesus had power, right? Of course, Jesus had power. Yes, we know he had power. He was a man. He was the most honest man on earth. A man that walked on water, a man that, healed the blind and all of these things. He was a man of power. But guess what? The power was in the right man's hand, and he did wonderful things. Not only just using Jesus, we can speak about many other things of men with power that did many good things. And when you're speaking about create, please tell me, you said women create things. Please tell me, I'll even say this. You know that you're here and that you have a XX chromosome is because of your father, not because of your mother? Look at her face. She's like, wait, what? Because you don't even think deep. Manipulation happens when you focus on the effects and never get to the root, the cause. And the reason why I'm good at these debates, because I go right to the root of things and I destroy the entire presupposition, the entire what they presuppose, what their thoughts presuppose, I destroy by going to the root of things. So you know that you're here because of your father, because men determine the sex of the baby? Did you know that? You probably didn't know that. So guess what? See brother over here shaking his head. Ali like, yeah, that nigga spitting. Your father created you, not your mother. Your mother only brung about the process of you being here. But your father is the creator for you being a woman and me being a man. Do you get it?
Is this the attempt to...
The silence on the panel is like, you even heard somebody out their breath like, dang, that nigga, dang, that was hard. Dang, this nigga. But what's she going to say now? Let's see what she say now. It has been obliterated, yes.
Oh, darling.
Please refute, please.
That was,
I easily refuted what you said, systematically refuted what you said.
Okay.
Please refute what I said. The floor is yours.
You have the chance to rebut, and then we get expert. Okay.
So she just pay attention. She's about to try to rebut or refute, bro. She's not even gonna move the goalpost and say something dumb.
Go ahead.
Okay, so you said, tell me why we initiate the 70% of marriages. You getting out of a divorce is not a destruction of something, sir. It's you dissolving a partnership in which everyone walks away alive. You know what is a destruction of life? The 1 in 3 men who unalive the intimate partner. You see how she didn't attack the argument? She just moved the goalposts. She just said, I said women initiate 70 to 80% of the divorces, and they destroy the nuclear family because they are the ones that leave the man. She says, well, women leave no, you just made some stuff up. Women normally leave men in divorces is because of, irreconcilable differences. I think I always say that word wrong, but yeah, they leave the man because they feel like it, not because of really anything that he did, just because they only loyal to their feelings. So they lose feelings for the man and then they lose the relationship. That's what happens. Partners, right? They're intimate partners within marriages. That's destruction. The fact that I'm using TikTok language. Homicide rates, right? Homicide is the greatest factor in why women are no longer on this earth. Homicide is because of intimate partner violence. That's destruction. Somebody getting a divorce where 2 people walk out of a relationship. You're going to hear me obliterate everything she say after this too. It's going to be good. Alive is not destruction, darling. When you guys kill your intimate partners within relationships, that's destruction. Okay? If I walk out of a relationship, you can move on to your next relationship and you can be successful in your next relationship. That's number 1. Number 2, there's enough people on the planet. We don't need to worry about 1 million fetuses no longer being here, zygotes, embryos, all of that. I'm sorry, we don't. We don't.
Wow.
Y'all could argue.
You sound like a destroyer.
Once again, that's not destruction. Those are not living, breathing human beings. Those are not living, breathing human beings. Last time I checked, you know what is living, breathing human beings though? The intimate partners who life you guys take at a record rate. Those are living, breathing human beings. There's nothing about what you have said to me right now that has disproven anything. All you have said to me is that women are exercising their rights to make decisions, to walk away from relationships that no longer serves them.
She is dumb. This is when sometimes you'll hear people speak and they have low IQ. She said, you didn't destroy anything. The only thing that you said is that women are choosing to walk out of relationships that don't. Wait, what are you talking about? I said that women destroy the nuclear family. The nuclear family is mother and father and children living in the same household together, right? And women destroy that. That is a fact. It doesn't matter if they are choosing. Just actually what she said proved my entire point. She said that women choose to leave the relationship. So yeah, women choose to destroy the nuclear family. Silly girl. Let's continue on.
Serve them, or they're deciding not to carry out a pregnancy in which
and where do they get these rights from? Where do these women get these rights from? Answer that question for me, pretty.
Or incest has occurred.
Yeah, where do women get their rights from?
Of destruction is crazy when you have yet to talk about the rates of men literally killing their wives and children. There's no way you're going to sit here and talk to me about destruction when you're bringing up crap like that. I'm so sorry.
You know what?
Okay, so let's just have a quick back and forth. I'll let you go in a quick second there, whole phase expert. So
I see you, expert. Go ahead, cool.
Yep, I got you. Quick thing. So you're saying a lot of false things, and you didn't refute anything I said. But let's just give another stat, just to point out. I'm going to prove I'm going to prove what you're saying is incorrect again. So do you know that in lesbian couples they have the highest rate of domestic violence?
Less than 1%.
That's two women. That's two women. That's two women in a relationship, not a man and a woman. A much lower rate. Do you understand that? Also, when you're speaking about rights, where do you think you get your rights from? Can you answer that?
Oh, we live in a capitalist society, and y'all would never survive if we weren't in the workforce. So we need
no. That's not answering my question. Where do you? Bro, she just wait. What? We live in a capitalist society, and y'all would never survive if we. What are you speaking about? Prior to women really entering the workforce, the society was actually better. What? She just talks. And the crazy thing is I talk extremely slow, but you get these people, they talk extremely fast, but they're dumb. They're dumb because they don't think before they speak. You get your rights from
ourselves.
So she says she gets rights from herself. Watch me obliterate her. She's not even going to understand what I'm saying, but it's going to be an easy, slow cook. You granted yourself your own rights?
I was born with my rights to walk on this earth.
Okay, no, but I'm asking you, who gave you your rights?
Not you.
Who do you get it from? What gender gives rights?
Oh, no gender gives rights.
No gender. So rights.
Actually, if anything, women give rights.
Women
gave you the rights to breathe. Your mother gave you the rights to breathe. She carried you into this world. She gave you the rights.
And she still doesn't understand simple male and female intersexual dynamics and just biology. Like, she doesn't know that the placenta, well, one, men are stronger than women. So women didn't give any rights for these children to be here. What she's speaking about, men are stronger than women. So I don't promote this, but it's a fact that if a man wanted to, he can just take it, right? Which don't promote great. But if we peel back the layer to everything, women really don't even have a choice in that. If we strip away all the current rights that men gave them, and it's just everything is without any rights that men given and laws and anything, everything is chaotic, then no, women wouldn't have any rights to they wouldn't even have the ability to protect themselves from another man taking their sexuality and impregnating them, which means that men have the force to actually bring about their legacy. Within that, do you know that the seed that the man implants into the woman, when that baby is forming, the placenta actually attaches on to the mother's, it actually attaches on in the womb to the mother, and it extracts the nutritions and, you know, the nutrients and stuff like that. So even our own baby takes from you. And that placenta, the DNA of the placenta comes from the man, not from the woman. So she doesn't even understand simple biology where it's like, yeah, no, honey, you're just wrong. Like, you know, you don't have any rights at all. But I'm not going to speak too much. Let me, I'm going to cook her. Just keep playing it. Okay. So I don't think you can answer the question properly, so I'll answer it for you, right? So
no, I don't need you to answer it for me.
No, I'll answer it for you because you lack intelligence.
I don't need it.
What rights is? Rights equals force. No one has any rights unless it's in force. I'll explain to you. Let's educate you a little bit because you lack understanding. So I'm going to help you out. So rights equals force. In order for you to have any right, guess what? Rights can be taken away. Rights can be granted to people, right? So if you
a moral
have
or legal entitlement to have or obtain something,
you're interrupting me. You're interrupting me.
Isa, 1 second.
Shorty is reading a Google definition of rights.
Let's do one mic at a time. Please don't interrupt each other, okay? It's totally fine. Let's go. No, Fugazee and Preeti is going to have an interrupted time too.
I was just explaining rights while you were trying to read a definition, but that definition is not talking about what the type of rights I'm speaking about. So I'm going to explain to you. You get what I'm saying? That's an effect. That definition is an effect. I'm going to the cause, the root of rights. Okay? So let me explain to you how rights equals force. In order for you to have the right to do anything, the right to vote, the right to, you know, walk outside your house without being raped, the right to do anything that you think about, right? It has to be enforced by something. If not, someone can infringe on your rights by using force. So let's say that you have an island that you create and you say, guess what? My rights are this. And I look at your island, I'm like, oh, they have all these rights they think that they can just do all of these things. But guess what? My force is stronger than your force. You really don't have any rights because I could come to your island and take over with my force. So what I'm saying is you get rights from men. Men grant rights and protect the rights that we all have. Women don't grant any rights because women can't enforce their own rights. Women need a man to enforce their rights for them. So when something happens, here's a question. If you get into a situation and you need to call the police, do you want a male officer to enforce your right for you, to protect you? Or would you prefer a male officer or a female officer to protect your rights, your human rights? Answer that question, male or female?
All of that, and that's the question. Oh, that's so late.
It's very simple to give you understanding. Can you answer it, though?
Hey.
This is when you know she's defeated. She's like, dang, if I'm being honest, I have to answer a male. But if I want to be disingenuous and just lie, I'm gonna answer a female. You're gonna hear her lie, but then it's gonna come full circle, and she's actually gonna agree.
One mic. Be respectful. Submit. Anyway.
Please answer the question.
So submit. So anyway.
Fatty, have her answer the question. Don't let her run from this.
Wait. It's fine. Let her land the plane, and if she doesn't answer, we're going back again. But cool. She has a right to.
I have a right to answer. Yes.
Thank you,
and guess what? That's why a man.
Even by side.
He enforced it.
Yeah, mate.
Oh my God.
Pretty. Okay. You got it.
So, I'm so sorry. I forgot your question. What was the last question you asked?
Yeah, because you wasn't paying attention.
Can you ask it again?
You lack comprehension and active listening skills.
Let's have the conversation.
I got it. Yo, I'm a menace, bro. When someone jack up, I'll be like, listen, you lack comprehension skills, you dummy. Why aren't you paying attention? All right, let's keep going. Question is this. If you are in a situation and your life is in jeopardy.
Officer. Right.
Would you want the male or female officer?
I would prefer.
Okay. And do you think that the probability would be higher or lower for you choosing a female officer to actually save you from danger, or the probability would be higher for a male officer? Because it's going to be random. You're going to get a random female or a random male. So within this random scenario, when you're calling 911, but you want a female, is the probability going to be, is it going to increase for for the female to have a higher probability to save your life rather than the male?
It's a higher probability for the female to save my life.
And why?
Because the majority of times, danger that will come to me will be at the hands of a man. And so therefore...
So what do you need a male to protect?
Daddy, why are we doing this, bro? Why are we doing this?
Bro, this feminist, bro. You see me screaming. She said, well, in the majority of cases, you know, if I'm, you know, going about my life, it's usually males. What she's saying is wrong anyway, but she's saying is usually males are the perpetrators of, you know, bad things that happen to females. But I just literally, I said it right then and there, but I don't know if you heard, I said, well, if males are the reasons for bad things happening, wouldn't you want another male to protect you from a male, not a female? Like, that would make sense, but it didn't correlate to her.
Why
are we doing this, bro?
Oh, one second, please. I want Pretty to be able to explain herself.
Go ahead.
And if she can...
No, that's bullshit, Daddy. And you know what it is.
Look, the panel mad. The panel mad. The panel like, nah, man. We ain't, she lying.
Once again, I don't agree with her. I want to see where the rabbit hole goes, and if she can get out of the rabbit hole, we move along. So go ahead, Pretty, and then I'll bring expert in because he's been waiting for a little bit. So go ahead.
I know everyone else is wanting to talk, and I do want to.
Well, two of us ain't talked yet.
The reason why I do, two people. I'll back off. I'm done now after this, unless he says something crazy. But the point is the reason why I would pick a female officer. Statistics show my greatest predator is a man. Statistics also show that male officers, right, when responding to female-related issues, right, which would be the greatest factor, i.e., intimate partner violence, that is my greatest threat, right, at the hands of a man, tend to under-respond to those types of calls. A woman is more likely to have empathy and to actually act on the situation. So therefore,
don't show that, ma'am.
Based on the fact that I understand those things, to answer your question, Fugazee, I would choose an officer, and I land.
Just 1 second, please. And
this
we
is
have
just a disingenuous argument just so she can win. That is not a statistic.
Yeah, we have a police officer in the building.
I know you do.
Diesel TV.
I am a chief of a police department. That is not a statistic, man.
Bro, she gets debunked on a spot by a cop.
You announced it at the beginning. I understand.
Yes. No, so my question will be this will be for Diesel and then expert can get it right.
Can I just respond back to that because it was kind of me and her? I'll give a 15-second response.
Go ahead, you got it.
Thank you. I appreciate you. She used words like empathy. Women are more empathetic. Well, is empathy going to save you from another man strangling you and got their arms around your neck? Was the woman cop going to come in like, let's be empathetic here and let's just talk this out? No, you'll need a strong masculine man that has muscles that's much bigger and stronger than the other man that's trying to kill you to protect you. Not a chick that has a twat between her legs that's much shorter statistically, that's much weaker statistically to save your life. The probability will be extremely lower if you choose a chick to come and save you. That's a fact.
Let me 1 second. Let me just say this, Pretty. You don't want the situation to escalate. If I'm abusing my wife and a female cop comes in, she will have to shoot me, literally. I will kill her. I will literally meet. Like, if I have my wife and two female officers come in to try to do something, you have to shoot me. You don't want people to escalate.
So you see, when you're debating these feminists, they just lie. And I'm actually going to just rewind it. Fast forward it to the part where she actually admits the truth that she would choose a man because she just wanted to disagree. Like, that's what women don't like taking L's, bro. Women and feminists, and they're the same thing. Because if you're a male feminist, you're pretty much a chick. You have the mind of a woman. So, and you can't handle L's good. So let me fast forward it to the part real quick where she actually agrees.
No.
Women are more likely to get disarmed.
Hold on.
Oh yeah, and I also gave a stat too that women are more likely to get disarmed by a perpetrator, like a woman cop, a woman police officer is more likely to get her weapon taken from her or smacked out of her hand and then slapped across the room by another man. Let's try to find this.
Pretty.
1 second. Pretty.
Come on,
We're
Pretty.
having a good fight. We're having a good session. Can you answer this question? Let's assume this, right? 1 second.
So look, so now she gonna answer it. Let's bring it forward. Look.
Diesel, please.
Just answer it.
Wait,
Be
I'm
transparent.
fighting Ali. Would I rather?
You are fighting Ali and
Okay.
Kelly. How much do you respect and Diesel?
No,
respect
I'm only okay. Respectfully, I'm only 5. I'm
champion on his back. Or would you rather have Diesel to
Chat, once again, I'm fast forwarding it where she says that she was lying, pretty much.
save you from
Just- I
Ali?
want y'all
Which
to hear
one
it.
would you rather have?
I'm gonna be real. I would prefer Diesel in that.
Yeah, so what Fatty did, he just posed a scenario like, you know, if you're in a situation, would you rather have Diesel up, you know, this guy on a panel or this woman on a panel? She just confirmed that she would want the man to come save her.
So
Checkmate.
they've got
So now she's going to be honest. Now she's going to be honest. When we just had this discussion and I painted the same scenario and you said no, these chicks be lying. The reason why she did it, here's the thing, right? When Fatty asked the question, the debate that me and her had kind of like settled because other people came in and the cop proved her point wrong. So me and her discussion was kind of like, you know, it faded out a little bit. And then when Fatty asked the question, it's not really a debate question anymore to her. So she's like, oh, I can't really lose in this situation because I already moved the goalpost so much. Hopefully the audience doesn't, know that my answer here is going to contradict themselves. But yeah, she's just an idiot. So yeah, what happened was, since Fatty asked the question and it wasn't she wasn't in a debate with me, a masculine man, she's like, oh, well, yeah, I'll go ahead and choose a man to save my life. These feminists, bro, they're evil. All they do is lie. All right, let's see what the chat's saying. Let me go ahead and get this closed out. So that was 2 reactions I just gave y'all. The first reaction, both of these reactions was from this podcast, this debate night that I did with Fatty and all of these other people on here, this super panel of what they call it. And now let's get into some other stuff. I know here on the thumbnail, I got that I'm going to react to Terrence Howard. It is open debate night. So if anyone wants to join the stream and debate about any topics, any things that you hear from me or anything that you have a point of contention with or a different opinion or perspective, go ahead and click the first link in the YouTube description. I'll bring you on up, or click the link that's in the live comments and I'll bring you on up. We could debate about anything you want tonight. All right, let me close that out. Stop sharing that. All right, chat. Let's see where we at with the super chats real quick, or if we have any. If you have any questions or concerns or anything, man, send in a super chat. Donate to the podcast. Don't be a ninja watcher. Yeah, chat is funny. The chat is funny in here tonight. Okay, let's see what we got. All right, let's get into the next clip, man. Let's hop right into the next clip. Let's see where we at. All right, so we'll get into the Terrence Howard interview when he was on PBD podcast. You may have seen it. This aired on Sunday. And Terrence Howard spoke about a lot of stuff. He gave his opinions and his perspectives on 1 + 1 = 2 again. The crazy thing is just he's wrong in the fact of that. We've already established a system of 1 + 1 = 1. So within that system that we've established is pretty much saying that the one is a group of a unit. So let's say if you have 55 times 1, it would just be that number. It'd be 55, right? So 1 + 1 just would equal 1. So it says that this group of whatever this 55 thing is, there's only one unit of it. So that's our understanding of 1 times 1 equaling 1, which means if you have 55 times 1, it would still always be 55. Our understanding, we look at this group of 55 and we are self-identifying it as it being 55. 2 times 55 would be it doubling. You get what I'm saying? So, but the 1 would just be saying that it's only one group of 55. So that's our understanding of 1 times 1 equaling 1. Terrence Howard, his points of contention with it is, well, times is a multiplier. So 1 times 1, it needs to multiply. It's nonsensical for it to equal itself, right? Because he's just looking at it at a different frame. And to say the frame that he's looking at it, it's understandable. From his frame, it isn't incorrect. From his frame, it is actually correct. But from the mainstream frame of mathematics, it's incorrect. But he says a lot of other things that is very interesting, too, in regards to masculinity and the whole P. Diddy situation. So we'll go ahead and bring up that clip. All right. 1 second here, chat. And one of the reasons why he gets a whole lot of flack for the 1 times 1 equaling 1 is because that's what 1 times 1 equaling 2, because that's like a feminine thing. Like chicks always want to be like, oh, well, if nothing is actually, if you have 1 of something, this is feminist worldview. If you have 1 of something, well, it's never 1 because we're made up of many atoms. There's electrons and there's many neutrons in us. So there's never just 1 of anything. Like, come on, bro. You just wanna disagree, you feminists. So that's why in the conservative mathematical world, it's like the stuff that Terrence Howard be saying is like, man, get out of here with that. But other things he say, man, you don't know. It sounds interesting. He speaks in a very interesting way. But all right, let's bring it up. I've been saying I'm going to bring it up, but here we go. All right, share my screen. Make this bigger. So let's just read the description here with the title here. Puffy tried to F me. Terrence Howard reveals shocking Diddy meeting and Hollywood's dark secrets. Let's see what we got.
There's a short life in
why do you think that is? What the creative side is?
Well, because losing out money, you got to take drugs. You're going through so much shit to try and deal with life. You are literally, it's an unhealthy space. And so eventually you're going to go too far. Who knows what happened to Philip? Who knows what he had to do in order to get to where he was at? There's a lot of things that people do that end up sitting and they can't get over it. And they got to keep getting high, hoping to get it out of their head. But when you lose your man card, that's the only thing I can think of. You lose your damn man card.
What is that? What do you mean by that?
You give up your ability, your right to being a man. A man don't take it, a man gives it. So when you give up that man card, you don't get that back.
Are you saying what I think you're saying?
No, I'm saying what I'm saying. You don't get that back. You come into this world as a man one time. You give up that right for anything, for fear of being hurt, fear of somebody doing something, for wanting to gain something. When you give up that man card right, you lose some spiritual energy that has always been pushing through. Like if a woman gives up her womanly right of being a mother and taking care of her family and do all those things, when you give up those things, but when you give up your manhood, I've never seen somebody recover from it. That was...
Yeah, what he's speaking is, it makes sense here, for sure. He's essentially saying, when you give up your manhood and you give up your integrity, you know, and your dignity, you lose your masculine essence about yourself. You don't really know yourself. You get into a phase where you're back trying to discover who you are as a man. Because, you know, you've allowed someone to take advantage of you, and you did it. The reasons why you allowed it is because you wanted to maybe get ahead financially, or maybe, you know, get some sort of opportunity. So you went ahead and walked into that P. Diddy room, stayed after hours, and you did some wild stuff. So this is an interesting take, and let's see what else he has to say.
It was all the people that went to the puffy parties. That was all the people that did all those things thinking that there was never going to be a consequence for what they were doing. Got punked out and pimped out by some greater desire. You shouldn't have a greater desire than being a man. So I believe that's a big problem with a lot of the actors out there, because they get fluid. And next thing you know, once you go fluid, it's gone. You don't have any foundation to pull yourself back from. So maintain your man card, no matter what.
Man, I mean, you know, one of the things you're seeing, you went to a whole different place.
Sorry.
No, I get it. So you see some guys struggling with that. You see Bieber struggling with that. You see some of these guys struggling with that.
They can't get it out of their head. They can't get it out of their head. The things that they did.
And he's making a good correlation to the things. What he's essentially saying is, and he even said it in the beginning, where, you know, if you're a man and you find yourself on a dark path, and, you know, you're drinking and you're smoking and you're doing these drugs, and you're not leveled ground, you're unbalanced. Well, there's a reason to all of these things. You know, people normally do these drugs and go down these dark paths because they're trying to cover up something that they've chosen in their life, something that they accepted in their life, and they regret it. So they go down that dark path of using drugs and alcohol and these type of things. One of the reasons why I've never drank or smoked, because I never went down any dark path to do those crazy, dumb things. So when what he's saying makes a lot of sense, and he's breaking it down pretty good. Let's continue on.
No matter how they did it, whether they were drunk or high or whatever, you gave up your man card. You need therapy. And that's the thing that hurts them the most. And so they end up on drugs.
You need Jesus. Therapy. I mean, that's a whole different topic. Let's continue on.
End up every way to try and get rid of any principles there are. And that's what the business does. And the women that trade their bodies to go and get the role, they get to the point where they have their Oscar, they have their money, but they don't have their dream. They don't have the soul that they started with. So it's like achieving don't mean anything. If I get all the Nobel Prizes from doing all of this, but in the process I have to trade out all of my integrity to do it so that they can stay in place, what benefit is that if I lose my integrity? You got to go in as a principle. And what we were brought in here as men. We produce 1,500 sperm per heartbeat for a reason, because the aggression is necessary. You don't trade that in, no matter what.
Did you ever have the opportunity where you got invited and you said no to it?
Hell yeah.
What was the consequences when you said no?
Puffy invited me for weeks, asking me to come and teach him how to, wanted me to be his acting coach for a while. Go there and he's sitting around just looking. I'm like, okay, what's the material you want to work on? He's just looking at me. Then next thing you know, okay, hey, will you help me? I want to hear your music.
The way he explained it, like, yo, imagine you going somewhere and it's like, oh yeah, you want me to help you out with some acting and stuff like that. I got you, man. I'll go ahead and help you out with your material. And you get into a room and, chilling. Of course, Puff got a big old mansion or whatever studio it is. It's crazy, crazy big. And homie just looking at you like, yeah, do that act again. You gonna be like, bro, what? This is funny.
So I come over there and I play the music, and he's sitting there just looking at me, like waiting. Okay. So then my assistant was like, you know, he wants to hang out with you next week. And I was like, for what? He's like, I think he's trying to fuck you. That's what my assistant said. I was like, oh, okay. Now I get it. So now no more communication. Now you know to be hands off with somebody. A number of producers come in and make the approach, and you threaten to punch them in the mouth, or threaten to knock their head off for talking to you like, or looking at you like you're a woman. You know, when you approach a real man about his masculinity, you're going to get a real reaction back.
Homie is spitting right now. That's a fact in a realist way. It's just funny, man, because it's like, bro, just imagine, chat. You walk into a situation and you don't know that homie Fruitalicious. You don't know that he's one of the rainbow community, Starburst community. You don't know. Sometimes people put up a good front, and you know how Hollywood works. Sometimes you just don't know. And you in a situation and you like, hey, what are we doing here? What did you invite me here for? You're supposed to be participating in this act, but you just looking at me, bro. What's going on? You're supposed to be asking me questions about what we're doing here, but instead you're just looking at me. That'd be extremely weird. Terrence Howard, he's a G. He's only talking about it now because the whole Diddy situation is hot. But, you know, he's a G for once he found out, he cut it off. Not even a G. That's just something that as any heterosexual man would do.
It's a difference when a guy walks in a room and when a man walks into a room. And a man don't take the same things that a guy will accept. So always be the man in the room. And that's always been my whole thing, and have lost businesses because I don't bend over in that way. I don't compromise. I don't play gay roles. I don't kiss a man. I don't do that shit because the man card means everything.
That's a big old fact. We're going to play the rest of it too, but we can break this down in so many ways, Chad. I want y'all to pick up some game as well from this when he's speaking about masculinity, because even in dating and relationships, it means a lot for a man when you don't view the woman as being better than you, because that's just untrue. And you don't put the woman on a pedestal, because essentially what happens when you do that, you do lose this essence to yourself about your masculinity. And it's like, you're like admiring the woman, looking up to the woman. And women are not okay with looking down at men. But men are okay with looking down at a woman because that's the natural flow of life. God over man, man over woman, woman over children. When a woman looks down on a man and she knows that she's the prize and she's being pedestalized, well, she starts to grow resentment for the man. And when that happens, she starts to, disrespect the man and treat him bad and stuff like that. But if the woman is admiring the man, and the man is on that pedestal, she looks at the guy like, yeah, I have the best guy that I could ever get. Like he's him. And essentially it's just the natural order. If she's looking up, you're looking down. And not only that, men are taller than, even from a actual physical stance, men generally are taller than women anyway. So this is just the natural order. Men, we don't grow resentment for the woman. We don't, lose attraction for her because she's admiring us and she's putting us on a pedestal. We don't treat her bad when she's putting us on a pedestal. But when the man puts the woman on a pedestal or starts to admire her, well, attraction isn't symmetrical, it's asymmetrical. So she starts to lose attraction for you. That's what happens. So even in like the things that he's saying, you should never bend or fold for no one as a man. That is a key factor when it comes to masculinity. This is in dating and relationships. This is in the work environment. Anything. You play in sports. Like when I played sports, quick example, I played basketball, football, and I ran track. Everyone knew. You know how when you play ball and you running down the court and you make a shot or you do something good in football and the homies, slap your butt? Oh, good job, bro. And they slap on your butt. That never, ever happened to me. Because first day of practice, the first time I encounter people, right? I tell them, listen, I don't play any of that gay junk. You saying good job, you give me high five. You touch my hinds, I'm knocking you smooth out. I don't play none of that, because the thing is, we don't know who's sweet delicious. So we may have a straight homie try to do that or a gay homie. We not gonna know. Nigga, I can't read your mind. I don't know your true intentions. So with that being said, no slapping butts over here. I'll let people know off the door. And not only that, what I would do is, because I was always the captain of my team and the leader of the teams and also the best on the team, I would tell people like, bro, stop doing that anyway. That junk gay. I will call it out. People slapping people. Oh, like, good job, bro. Slap you on the butt. That junk gay, bro. Why is you doing that? Don't do that. So it's principle based, like Terrence Howard said. You got to let people know from the door not to mess around with you. You are a man. You don't bend and fold for no one. You don't conform to social norms. Oh, it's socially acceptable for if you do a good job or you make a shot or you score a touchdown that, you know, another man will come around and slap your butt. That's socially acceptable. Well, nigga, not over here. We ain't play that. Homie, don't play that. So right from there, as a man, you got to be grounded with some principles, some do's and don'ts. You got to have a backbone about yourself. And these guys in relationships where they let their woman run the relationship, they don't got no backbone. This is why those chicks divorce them and leave them and try to get with a nigga like me. It's just what happens. Just what happens. Let's continue on.
I had no idea we're going to go this direction with the podcast. This is absolute. But listen, we've talked about it. We've had a lot of the guys on to talk about this stuff. Are you done with Hollywood because of this specific reason?
I'm still working. I still, you know, I haven't made the money necessary to do all of the other stuff. So I still have to go and do the chitlin circuit. I still have to do the job that I need to. But eventually, I've done what I set out to do, which was to redefine the universe. I've proven what I've set out to do, and that's why I have all the patents. Whether they evaluate it or not, that's up to them. But I've done the work and finished it. Now I can go on and do whatever else we need to do. Hi, everyone. My name is Terrence Howard. I'm an actor, but...
Okay, I think that's the end of that clip. All right, chat. We got a super chat that just came up as well. See what we got. Nick Merritt says in $10, what does it profit a man to gain the whole world but to lose his only soul? Those individuals that gave up their masculinity are completely damaged. Their soul is lost. That's a fact, man. Their soul is lost. You don't let nobody... Listen, man, no, and anything, man, I spoke about it before. I've always tried my hardest in everything. Because I'll play against kids at the park in basketball. Them kids never beat me. They be 10 years old at the park, 10, 12 years old. Nigga, I'm a grown man. You think I'm going to let you win? No, you're not winning. You're going to have to earn that W. You have to earn a W. When I'm sparring people in boxing, you think I'm finna go light, nigga, spar? I'm going hard all the time. Now I know about, happy spars and stuff like that, but I ain't no real boxer or none of that. So if I'm in a gym just sparring, nigga, I'm going my hardest. I'm trying to knock your head off. People going in there light sparring. Yeah, bro. And then you get chipped. Like, nah, man, I'm giving it my all each sparring session. You playing football with someone in practice. Oh, you don't. Oh, it's practice. You don't want to tackle hard. You just want to. No, in practice too. I'm there to let you know that I'm better than you. I'm the big bad Bino. I'm hitting you hard. What are you talking about? Everything you do, you give 100%. That's what men do. That's what men do. You got to let niggas know that you ain't bending and folding for nobody. You just ain't. All right. Let's get into some more clips. So I reacted to, we did the debate reaction in the beginning of the podcast. I was on Fatty Super Panel debate. And then we just reacted to the Terrence Howard clip, which was 2 good reactions that we did. Now, the panel is open. If anyone wants to go ahead and join debate night, click the first link in the YouTube description or click the link that's pinned in the comments to join debate night, and I'll bring you on up. Let's go ahead and close down a Facebook stream. So everybody on Facebook, if you tuned in right now, come on over to YouTube. That's No Fugazee Podcast on YouTube. Come on over. We are closing down a Facebook stream now. 1 second. Let's get this closed out. All right, Facebook stream is closed. We are currently only live on YouTube. All right, let's get into some more clips here. Let's see what we got. While people, I guess some people are scared. I seen when I was reacting to like 2 clips, I seen some people did click the link to come up, but they just came in at the wrong time. But yeah, so if you want to debate me on politics, dating and relationships, religion, anything, click the first link in the YouTube description or click the link that's pinned in the live chat on YouTube, and I'll bring you on up. Let's get to the next clip. All right, here is the next clip. Let's see. Okay, Matt Barnes emotionally admits, I literally just lost my family over years of emotional struggles. Let's see what he's talking about.
We just lost my family through being what you talked about, like I was the strong provider. I wasn't there emotionally. I wasn't empathetic. I wasn't willing to share those emotions. And that was stuff that my ex would tell me, like, you're a wall. And then again, trying to dig back and understand and starting counseling that, like you said, little Matt.
Yeah, so right off the bat, I can already tell, and I didn't preview this either. This is stuff that supporters sent me in. Right off the bat with what he said, I can tell that he's trying to conform to the woman's way of thinking and the woman's expectations. Once again, he's trying to conform to the woman's way of thinking and the woman's way of expectations, not the woman's way of what they expect from a man, right? But the woman's way of what women expect for themselves, to be in tune with their emotions. He's using these words like be in tune with my emotions. I wasn't emotionally available in my family and so forth and so forth. Well, buddy, the thing is, when we're speaking about emotions is a you problem. No one knows how you feel but you. Nigga, am I in your head? No, I ain't in your head. Are you in mine? You're not in mine. So when you're dealing with emotions, that's something that you have to be stoic about and be manly enough to not pour your emotions on your women and on your children. So he was actually doing the right thing. But you can tell he's in a state where he got so low that he conformed his way of thinking to thinking that him being masculine and being stoic is a bad thing and a negative thing. So now he thinks that the morally good thing a man should be is to be emotional and, emote more with their family and share their feelings and stuff like this. It's this right here, what you're witnessing is the effects of the indoctrination of feminism. I repeat, this right here, what you're witnessing is the effects of the indoctrination of feminism. They want to change the roles of the man and the woman, right? Now, he was being a man and not being emotional and being stoic about things. But there was most likely probably some other issues that was going on. I do believe that he lost his family or something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was like he was cheating and he got caught or something like that. So now he's just blaming things because he probably went to some shrink or some weird therapist that's being like, well, the reason why you feel like you need to go cheat is because you're holding in your emotions and you're not letting it out. No, the reason why the nigga was cheating is because he's a man. Because Men, generally speaking, they're only as loyal as their options. Homie had options and he exercised those options, but he went to some shrink, some feminist shrink, and he's spoken to his women, to his chick, his wife, that probably emotionally manipulated him to believing that the problem streamed from him not being as emotional as she is. No, you dumb chick. He's a man, you're a woman. Stay in your place and know your place. The reason why he lost his family is because he wasn't honest. That's the reason why. Like, bro, just be honest. You know you can't keep your wang in your pants. All right, bro, you gotta come to the conclusion, like, listen, shorty, I'm gonna be out here exercising options because I don't have the discipline, or this is what I feel like doing right now. So here's what I'm doing. You either accept it or leave it. Now, obviously, if his chick left because she caught him lying, she was probably still going to leave anyway if he told her up front. She probably just be like, oh, no, I can't accept it. I'm going to leave. Because she can't accept the male's biological truth. It's funny how society, and I'm not promoting this, or I'm just giving, posing a question here that's thought-provoking. It's funny how society we made it okay and acceptable for women to just be emotional. And okay for society to accept the woman's natural biological ways of them being emotional. But it's like not okay for society to accept the man's natural biological ways of wanting quantity. Now, in ways, it's too different. Men aren't really shamed for it, but society, with the whole monogamous society, it's not really accepted. But for the woman, it's fully okay. They'll accept the woman yelling at you, screaming at you, and then she can be like, well, I was on my period. And that makes it okay? Like, why can't niggas be like, oh, well, I went ahead and hit that because I was horny? Well, that's not acceptable. So it's just a thought-provoking question. But anyways, let's play a little bit more and let's see what else he says.
From back then is still hurt and still trying to find his way, although grown Matt feels it seems like he has it all. Little Matt is there more than I realized. So my question is, like, to all those men that can't.
Just the fact that he's saying grown Matt and little Matt, he probably talked to a shrink.
Or feel like they can, or just won't. Tears won't come out. I know it's such a refreshing and helpful and good thing to do as a man, but how do you cry if you don't? I don't want to say I don't know how to cry, because I've cried before, but I haven't cried in probably 30 years.
And Matt, there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong. Something about a man, you are there to be the head of the household. You are there to protect and provide. You don't want to fall apart. Like, you need to be a man. Keep yourself together and don't fall apart. But what they're doing here with this, feminist indoctrination, they're making the masculine essence about the man to be a negative thing. Oh, well, you're stoic and you don't cry and you got control of your emotions. That's negative. Shame on you. You should be crying. That's what they're trying to do, bro. They're trying to reverse manhood. Let's keep going.
You're guarded.
Too much.
You have to change your perspective of what crying is. You still deep inside of you.
Through my action.
Look at that other nigga. You got to change your perspective on what crying is. Nigga, we all know what crying is. The only tears that's good is happy tears. You cry, nigga, I'm crying when I got $1 billion in my account. Thank you, Jesus. Oh, thank you, Jesus. Tears gonna come out then. You feel what I'm saying? I don't even got $1 million in my bank account. I ain't crying when I get $1 million in my bank. Nigga, I ain't never crying. What you talking about? Why is guys even thinking about crying? There's no reason to be crying, nigga. But if you are gonna cry, let it be happy tears. Tears of joy. That's the only masculine. That's the only tears that's accepted by a masculine man, is tears of joy.
I literally just lost my family through being what you talked about. Like,
you still believe it's a sign of weakness? It's really is a sign of you being human. And until we get to the place where we can release it, that's when you'll always feel this rage, this anger.
No, once you get to the place where you feel like you can release it, that's exactly what Terrence Howard was speaking about when he said, listen, bro, when you conform to these social norms and thinking things should be acceptable, thinking there are things out there that you should accept as a man where you really shouldn't accept as a man, that's when you lost your man card. Like he said, that's when you lost your man card.
Never feeling settled. You gotta smoke some weed. You gotta get something to drink. You need to call that girl. And you don't even hear it taught enough about contentment. Like, when is enough? Mm-hmm. You know, why do I have to keep grinding and keep going? That's not peace.
Wait, what? Oh man, these niggas is soft. Bro, listen. Chat, listen. Stuff like this is what you just heard is an abomination to masculinity. It will destroy the masculine essence of a man. It would destroy everything about a man. Let me just bring it back a little bit. Yeah, I think maybe if y'all missed it, I got to hear that again.
You know, and then speaking of peace, which it seems like the majority of us, that's all we want. Peace is...
No, let's bring it back. That nigga said something stupid.
Weakness. It's really is a sign of you being human. And until we get to the place where we can release it, that's when you'll always feel this rage, this anger, never feeling settled. You gotta smoke some weed. You gotta get something to drink. You need to call that girl. And you don't even hear it taught enough about contentment. Like, when is enough? Mm-hmm. You know, why do I have to keep grinding and keep going? That's not peace.
So that's that part that I wanted to speak about. When is enough enough? Why do I have to keep grinding? Like, I need to get to a place where I feel content. I feel comfortable. You are a man. You work until you dead. Wake up. Get used to it. You're not a chick. We go out there and work so our family can be comfortable. We feel comfortable in the work. You get what I'm saying? This nigga right here to the right of the screen, he's a loser. He's a chick. He's not a man. He isn't a man. As a man, you get peace in working. You don't conform like a female. Females get comfortable. They want to, oh yeah, I just want to be content. I want to be unbothered. No, life as a man is hard. It's much harder than a man. We have a burden of performance to perform. Women don't share that same burden of performance. So this is why they look for contentment, right? They look to be content and be comfortable. They're like seeking out comfortableness all the time. Well, men know that, listen, the only way things can be comfortable is unless I make it comfortable. I have to be uncomfortable to provide comfortability. Things don't come for free. You think comfortability comes for free? No, that doesn't come for free. Look at the pillow. Niggas had to make the pillow so that someone can be comfortable. The nigga that was out there picking the cotton and do the things to make the pillow, you think he's comfortable? No, but he found some contentment in that work. You do that as being a man. Where you get your peace from and your contentment from as a man? By seeing your loved ones have that contentment and that comfortability. That's how we get our contentment. That's how we feel content and comfortable as a man, when we see our family and our loved ones being peaceful and being comfortable and content. That's where we get it from. We get it by experiencing other people's comfortability. That's how. How else they're going to get it if you're content and comfortable? You dork. He's a dork. And people like him need to join debate night. People like this guy to the right of the screen. That dork. They need to join debate night. And this is one of the reasons why I do debate night, to debunk all of these nonsensical things that you hear on social media. Because even when I react to clips, I still kind of pretty much make it like a debate. Someone says something dumb, I give a reaction to debunk the dumb claim that they just made, because it's dumb. He's pretty much telling freaking Matt here to be a chick. Yo, just take the place of a woman. Let me see what other dumb thing he says.
And then speaking of peace, which it seems like the majority of us, that's all we want. Peace is not the absence of chaos, trials, tests, adversity. It's having a calm heart in the midst of those things. Do you still believe it's?
That was the only good thing he said at the end. You know what I mean? I'll be transparent and give, flowers where it's due. That part that he said at the end, okay, I see what you're saying here. Well, pretty much what he contradicted himself. That last statement contradicted the first statement he made. Because if we find peace through adversities and all of these things, that means that we find peace through giving other people peace by going through adversities, overcoming things, creating things, building things, going out there and working so we can have our loved ones. We can see our loved ones live comfortable and have peace. And that's how we get our peace. So literally his last statement contradicted and I would have told, if he joined debate night and he said this, I'd be like, you just contradicted yourself, right? So you should have left out that first statement, because the first statement literally is in contradiction with your last statement. Most likely, the reason why you said the first statement is because you was indoctrinated by feminism, by feminism. That's probably the reason why he said the first statement. So he's a little bit more like wanting to speak like a woman and think like a woman first before you speak, you think. Normal people do that, but first think like a woman, then speak like a woman. So, man, it's sucks to see it. What else he says?
It's a sign of weakness. It's really a sign of you being human. And until we get to the place where we can release it, that's when you always feel this rage, this anger, never feeling settled. You gotta smoke some weed. You gotta get something to drink. You need to call that girl. And you don't even hear it taught enough about contentment. Like, when is enough enough?
No, nigga, there's no enough is enough. Then he goes back to saying, well, when is enough enough? Bro, man, it's crazy, bro. It's crazy. And he's on this big platform with this former NBA player. It's like, put me up there. Put me up there with him. Grown man, old man, had a lot more experiences than I did. Gray beard, but intellectually, I'll smoke him. I'll make him feel like he in the 5th grade. He'll feel like he in the 5th grade. He'll be like, dang, god dang, what? Dang, this nigga spitting. All right, let's get to the next clip. Chat, where y'all at, man? Talk to me, chat. Talk to me. We got some haters in the chat. We got some haters in the chat. Hey, listen, bro, click that link. The link is in there. I see you in here. Daryl Long. Go ahead and click that link. Click the link for me. And I'll bring you up. But, it's always no subscribers. Looks like a new YouTube channel that was just made. All right, yeah. So Daryl Long, I see you in the chat. You have some points of contention, so don't be a hater. Don't be all talk. If you are a man, you have your name is Daryl. So that is a man's name. So act like a man and click the first link in the YouTube description, and I'll bring you on up. Or click the link that's pinned in the live chat. You are in the live chat, so just look up and click that link. When you click that link, you'll be able to join the stream. And then we can have a debate about any points of contention you have. And I'll actually give you the floor so you can introduce yourself and tell me where you're from and stuff like that. And then you let me know what you have a point of contention with. And we'll have a debate. But chat, I don't think that he will. And he actually says, nah, I'm good. I've been on your show. I came with Fatty. I don't think you've ever been on my show. But if you have been on my show and you said you came with Fatty, I'm not sure what you're saying. If you have been on my show, then You got smoked. You got cooked. So no wonder why you don't want to come up again. No wonder why. No wonder why, Daryl Long. So come on up and get smoked. Actually, so you got 2 seconds to pull, and the whole chat is getting on you now. Pull up, Daryl. Question. He says, nah, you a goofy. I just laugh at you. I already been on your show with Team Fatty. I'm not sure when that ever happened, man. Oh, he's getting blocked since he doesn't want to click the stream. Let's go ahead. Oh, have one of the moderators block him. One of the mods. Go ahead and get him out of there. Go ahead and get him out of there. Get him up out of there. One of the mods. Go ahead and get him up out of there. How's your chance to come? And you can still come up too. Even though, one of the mods block you, you could still come on up. Still go ahead and click that link and I'll bring you on up. So the option is still there. All right, let's get to another clip. It's funny how you can say, oh, Cooley, you're wrong. And I'm speaking about masculinity. And then I offer you the opportunity to come on and, make your statements publicly, but you choose not to. So that's feminine. That's what females do. Females is like, they'll rather be Twitter fingers, they type in a chat, but never actually want to be confronted or have their worldview challenged. So, yeah. All right, let's get into this next clip. What we got?
In this country right now is we live in different realities.
That's right.
I live in a reality where I know I do not have the same opportunity as you. I know I don't.
And you know
and
that
I know
too.
Let's go.
And you know that.
Let me just tell you about me.
I'm gonna let you finish, but I want to answer this.
I'm not talking about how you feel. I'm talking about how I feel. Me, a black woman in this country.
Hey, chat, these are the type of black women that I actually had on a podcast just this past Friday on a girl show. They were just like her. Like, I don't have the same opportunities, me as a black woman. And their worldview gets obliterated quick. But they have this victim mindset, and they're going to stay in that victim mindset.
Not in this city.
And I will run. And if you want
I'm a New Yorker, not in this city. You cannot say that. You can't say that in this city.
I'm not talking about New York. I'm talking about actually
let her finish.
right here.
Let her finish.
I got a law degree, a master's, and 2 bachelors. Probably more education than all of y'all added up together at this table,
Fine
right?
by me.
And I have always been the least paid person on payroll at every institution I have worked in. And it's not
Even
because...
in the White House?
Even in the White House.
Well, whose fault is that? I don't think you worked for George W. or Trump.
Well, guess what happened when I was there? DEI. Let me tell you something about my story and my family story is that we have faced discrimination. I have faced discrimination. I just said I was the least paid person, even in this moment sometimes, to my counterparts. It is just the reality of the country we live in. And I'm not saying, I do believe I'm qualified. I know I'm qualified. You won't ever tell me I'm not qualified. But the system that I live in doesn't matter about my qualifications.
I don't agree
think we're
because
there in 2025.
Oh, come
I don't think we're there in 2025.
Okay, so, essentially what she's saying here, crazy how she's on national television, CNN, which is a big network, a failing big network, but it's a big network on TV. She's getting paid to just share her opinions, and she says that she's still not happy. She's still claiming that she's a victim of some type of oppression, some type of systematic oppression. I have all of these degrees, and then she says that, well, I think I'm here, not because of my degrees or because of my degrees. She says she kind of contradicts herself in her speaking a little bit there, but at the end of the day, what you just witnessed here is a black woman with the victim mindset at 100%, full at 100% on display. And the thing is, I'll be honest, most black people, and even myself at one point in time, I suffer from the victim mindset, which I used to look at the glass half empty instead of the glass half full. And I've used to view the world just how she viewed the world, like, yeah, I'm out here doing things, but the past, the reason why I'm not successful is because the past is infringing on my current situation. So the past meaning what my ancestors been through as slavery, what, the things that we went through under Jim Crow and under redlining or anything that you want to speak about, all of those things infringed on my current situation, meaning that I didn't have as much opportunity as other people. The reality is you live in a first world country where you have clean water and access to all the opportunity, right? But there's people in other countries that don't have clean water or food to eat. And there's people in this own country, white people in its own country, that they've experienced hardships too. So the reason why you've experienced some adversities it's not because of your race, because you don't think that white people experience adversities and go through traumas and difficulties with past families and their family now and stuff like that. We all go through problems. That's the truth. Adversities and traumas don't discriminate. There's not a person on the planet that hasn't gone through adversities. But this woman in her victim mindset, she thinks that the world revolves around herself. So she thinks that only me and people that look like me go through these adversities. So I'm a victim to this system. But she doesn't understand that, no, that's not true. Everyone goes through adversities, even in America. And in other countries, people go through more adversities and they have much, much less opportunity. So how about you be grateful and try harder? How about you be grateful and try harder? But the reason why you're not trying harder is because you think that you are a victim. So if you think that you are a victim and the system is not fair, well, guess what? Life isn't fair. You fat chick, get in the gym and lose some weight. I'm sure one of the things that you're probably struggling in life is your weight. You get your weight in check, you'll get your mind in check. You'll be able to think proper instead of thinking that you're a victim. Yeah, you know what you are a victim to? You are a victim to your own mouth from swallowing all that food. So get your mouth together and stop eating so much, because that's sinful. Eating, it's called gluttony. You big old fat piece of thing. Stop eating like that. So yeah, a chick like her, I can see why she wants to blame someone else for her poor reality and the way she wants to blame someone else for her crappy reality that she's living. I would be unhappy too if I lived in that body. Look at this body. Hold up.
Issue in this country right now is we live in different realities.
That's right.
Go to
I
that
live in
big
a
old
reality
body.
where I know I do not.
Look, you big chick. You're big and your hair is fake. You're big and your hair is fake. Look, I got twisted. My jaw's real. I'll take these out right now. You're big and your hair is. I'll be mad too. I'll blame the white man instead of blaming yourself because you want to always eat too much calories. Go on a calories deficit, chick. You'll lose some weight. You'll feel happy about yourself. Get in the gym. Start pushing some weights. Start running around. You'll feel a little bit better. Trust and believe. Trust and believe. I would actually say that's one of the things that helped me out with the whole victim mindset was working out, if I'm being honest. Yeah, I used to be like 140. A huge portion of my life, prior till I was 6'4". I was like 140 all the way up until I was about, it's like Snoop Dogg skinny. Probably all the way up until I was about 22. Then I got to like 150. Then when I was like 25, I was 160. So 160 pounds, 6'4", bro, super, super skinny, but no muscle, never went to the gym, never pushed any weight. And I had the victim mindset then, 25 for sure I did. And I know when I started working out, getting into the gym, reading more, and just trying to be the better version of myself, I started to see better results within my body. And then 2, I started to see better results within my mental, the way I think, the way I treat others, started to see better results into the job, the career that I had at the time. I started to outwork people. I'm like, dang, what the heck? And guess what? I started to get more money. And then I'm like, wait, time out. If I can do it, coolly from Roadway Projects, single mother, if I can get out of the hood, get a better job, make 100 plus, make well over 100,000 a year, way before I started the podcast. If I can do it, and I did it by changing my own actions, which then changed the way I viewed the world, I know other people can do it. And I'll tell a story too. I remember I was working for a company, not going to say the name of the company, but it was an insurance company. And it was a guy by the name of John. He worked at the company. And John was an employee that stick to all the rules. He did everything perfectly. John, when he was supposed to send emails at a certain time, he got all his emails out. When he was supposed to have all his orders done, he had all the orders done. And he did it like on time consistently. He never was late to work. And John was extremely professional and kind. Not nice, but kind. And John was older than me because I was young at this time. At this time, I was probably about, and John was actually a motivator to help, it's someone that I seen to be like, yo, I need to change my life. Probably when I was like 24, I believe. But I seen John, and he was a tactical, very analytical, and a good deductive problem solver. He was a good worker. Me at that time, nigga, I came to work late. Emails got to get sent. Well, I do those at the end of my shift. You know what I'm saying? I was one of those type of employees at this insurance company that I was working at. And I'm like, I used to get the job. I used to, work enough to get paid. And this was me at around like 24. It was always like that. I kind of worked enough to get paid, but I wasn't a lazy worker, but it was like, I had some deficiencies, but I could never see my deficiencies. I only seen my deficiencies when I seen John, because I was like, oh, this nigga does everything perfect. Coolly, I'm deficient. So I wanted to compete. So I'm like, okay, I got to get my stuff up. Ain't no chicks in the environment. I'm just like, dang, this nigga, and it's no trophies is given out. No raises are given out. I'm just like, this white guy, he's doing good. John had a higher education than me, but we getting paid the same. I'm like, dang, what's going on? All right, cool. Whatever. So then I start to work harder. I start to come in on time. And when I did these things, I just felt better about myself. Prior to me viewing John's work ethic and me changing my work ethic, I used to litter a whole lot. I used to always litter. And I had this view of the world of thinking like, well, it ain't my problem. I'll throw this out my car. It ain't my problem. Like, cause I had this view of the world like it's more of like, I didn't really care about where I lived. I really didn't care about, I thought it was unfair anyway. Like, oh, this world is unfair. The system is unfair. They're doing things to infringe on me. And, the white man is holding me back. So why should I care? Throw it out the window. So I always littered. Once I met John, once I met John and his work ethic, and then I changed my work ethic and I started getting in the gym, I seen that I stopped littering. Like, I thought it was actually bad to litter. I was like, wait, why would I started to appreciate where I lived. I started to appreciate the things that I had. Prior to me putting in that effort, I didn't really appreciate the things that I had, even though I didn't have a lot at the time, but I didn't appreciate it. And the reason why I didn't appreciate it is because I viewed the world from a victim lens. And I thought that everything was just unfair. So if it's unfair the way I view it, well, it really wouldn't make sense for me to appreciate the things that I have. But when I started to put in that work, even though my dollar amount never changed, but I put in the work. And after I put in that work, I started to feel better and to appreciate just the small things. So I never littered again. So that's a story about myself with dealing with the victim mindset and the effects on how it changed my life after I overcame that victim mindset. But all right, enough about the story of me and John and me obliterating this fat chick. Let's get on to, I think we got someone in here that wants to debate. We'll bring them on up. Welcome to No Fugazee Podcast. State your name and where you're from.
This is Taylor by nature. I spoke to you before, Alabama.
Okay, yeah, I think we did speak before. What's going on, man? What you want to debate about tonight?
Not so much a debate. I saw something that I thought you'd be probably benefit from. You talked to Saint and Sinner, right? I know you guys are homeboys or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had this neuroscience on his channel. Did you see that one video he made with the neuroscience?
No, I didn't. No.
Yeah, his name is Wasilios. I think it's pronounced Wasilios. So pretty much, he was pretty much saying that the body count of women it actually matters because I guess the effect is like the number of men that women sleep with. She actually collect each of them DNA, and when she
okay, I see what you're saying.
And when she have a child, those DNA actually get. I guess the body is like a machine, so you actually take parts of the DNA, and you actually make the child. So it may be like 90% of the men, and the rest of the characteristics add to the child.
Yeah, I've seen some scientific studies on that too. I forgot the word for it, but something said that when a woman has children with another man, the DNA of the father of that other child, which is the DNA of the other child, it stays in the woman up to 10 years. But after 10 years, then that DNA of the child isn't there. But then I also seen other studies that showed from scientists, they said that when women have sexual partners and those men ejaculate in her, that the DNA from those men, I guess it's in the woman's brain, I guess.
Yeah,
it was a little weird.
It pretty much stay in the body. I guess in a way, it's like building blocks of future children, which the body kind of takes to make parts. Because the DNA could make parts for anything.
Yeah.
So,
hey, chat, real quick. Nah, this isn't Daryl, chat. This isn't Daryl. This isn't the guy that was. I guess it was some guy that was in the chat before. He was talking smack. This isn't him, chat. This is someone else.
Oh no. It ain't me, man. I don't do stuff like that, man. Childish stuff. But yeah, I thought I saw that. I don't know if you want to reach out to him and interview him, man. But I think it'd be a really great segment. Just so guys could see what's really taking place. I guess
the scientist. What's his name?
His name is. I'm gonna spell his name for you so you can have it.
Okay, go ahead.
It's a really funny name, man. It's Dassilios, and it's Della, and I think his last name. I'm not sure which one is his last name, but it's Cioppa.
And the first letter, was it VASS or BASS?
V.
V as in Victor.
Yeah, he's a neuroscientist. But yeah, it was man, that was like some deep stuff because when you read the Bible, you see why people actually choose to have virgins because pretty much you don't have any other DNA competing with your DNA within the woman itself.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, man, there's a lot of things that we fully don't understand, but then there's a lot of things that we do understand where the Bible confirms, like, because the Bible, to an extent, it doesn't really, it says a whole lot of things, but it doesn't give, like, the reason why. Like, here's the reason why, like, it gives, like, the reason why, like, if you sin, okay, these stuff like that. But, like, certain things, it doesn't always give the reason why, like, well, why should we get a virgin? Well, if you do a little research, like you said, like in this doctor proved, well, here's a lot of reasons why you should get a virgin and why the woman's virginity should be protected. So That makes a lot of sense, man. I'll see about reaching out to him, and shout out to I see a lot of people in a few people in here saying peace to the saints. Shout out to Marquette. That's my guy. But yeah, man. Any other questions?
So you think about Terrence Howard about the one times one thing. I follow Terrence, and a lot of stuff. Terrence is a genius, man. I think the stuff he's saying is like it's like. This information haven't got into the mainstream, I guess not mainstream, but haven't gotten to the English language, because the language we spoke before actually mirrored nature. It was a nature-based language. So a lot of information, like I said, about the biology and all those things, people in the past knew in great detail about how the functionality of the body, how it functions. In the English language, that information is lacking greatly. So a lot of stuff we talk about is based on biology, which was the language we had before actually mirrored nature. So the reason why I said that, one of the things he brought up about the one times one thing, he was saying that in a linear understanding where everything is flat, they actually work. But in a I guess he said nature, when nature multiply, it multiply volumetrically. So his understanding is based on natural laws. It's not made a man-made creation as far as ideology. That's pretty what you're saying.
And that's what I explained too when I before I got into that clip, and I was talking about the one times one, because currently mathematically 1 times 1 is presented that it's one group. So it's if you have a group of something, the 1 times 1 equaling 1, or the 1 times 55 equaling 55 is just to show that you have one group of something. So that's currently our understanding. That's the definition of it. That doesn't mean that Terrence's definition of it is wrong, because even when he's explaining it, he explains it where it makes sense, right? But when we explain it, if we're using it just to identify something, to show that, well, it's one of this or it's one of that, then that also makes sense too. It's actually not nonsensical. The nonsensical part is the part that he explained. Well, it's time, so it's a multiplier. Why wouldn't you multiply it? But then that goes down that rabbit hole. But yeah, man, good discussion, bro. I'm gonna get a next caller up on here, man. Appreciate the support, brother.
Cool. All right.
Have a blessed one, man.
All right, cool, man.
Welcome to No Fugazee Podcast. State your name. Where you from?
James Soko, North Carolina.
James Soko, North Carolina. Are you here to debate?
Well, I wouldn't call it a debate. I don't disagree with your points. I watch your platform a lot. I think you're a very knowledgeable brother. I came in a little later, and I saw that the topic was the Terrence Howard comments. I don't know what your take on that was, but I did have a take on it when I saw it. I felt like he was just he was somewhat just, he never said that Diddy made those comments toward him. He said that his assistant basically, implied that Diddy wanted to sleep with him. So I'm like, I just felt like he was kind of riding the bandwagon right now. I just feel like a lot of people are riding the bandwagon right now.
Yeah, well, I pointed that out. Well, of course he's speaking about this topic because it's a hot topic. It's a hot take to say. But then on the other side of it, he did say that he did meet with Diddy. So he did express his experiences when he met Diddy. And what he expressed was like, yeah, he asked me to, show him, go over some acting lessons because I guess he's getting into movies and stuff, but he was just looking at me. So he did state that it was awkward. But the thing is, that's what some chicks would do. Chicks would say that if they're trying to accuse a man of something. So it's like, but that's the thing when it's like, if a homie is gay, he does take on the nature of a woman because he's attracted to the same thing that a woman is attracted to, which is a man. So, and sometimes in a lot of ways, we could spot that out as men. Like we can spot out if a chick is giving us the eyes, like, she's interested, or if she's just not interested, or she's neutral ground. You get what I'm saying? With the body language and stuff like that. So how he explained it, I get what he's saying, but I agree with what you're saying. You're saying like it's a hot take right now to speak about Diddy, so he could be doing it for that, doing it for some clout.
Yeah, because I don't know your whole take on the Diddy thing. I'm not a Diddy defender or anything like that. I think all of us can look at the tape with Cassie and be appalled by that. I mean, clearly, I don't agree with domestic violence. I feel like that, they settled that and she got a large sum amount and it was never criminally taken there. All the other things, I'm really looking forward to seeing what the actual evidence is because I feel like everybody deserves a day in court. So we've heard so much in the media that I'm like, okay, where's the actual evidence? Because when it comes down to the trial, if all they have is that videotape of Cassie, if they don't have any like anything concrete, I'm looking at this like it's kind of like a witch hunt kind of.
Yeah. My perspective isn't too much different than yours, I would say. As a man, we are evidence based. So you have to show some proof. We're not just going to believe these things that you say. You have to show proof. So the proof that we do have is the video of him, putting his hands on Cassie. So it's like, okay, all right, that's domestic violence there. But these other claims of him having these freak offs, him having the freak offs, that's not a crime. If he's having these freak offs and people aren't giving consent where it's like grape, you know what I'm saying? Then you have to prove that. But these other things it's like you're saying, it's like a witch hunt. Like it's all of these claims, but we actually have no proof. I think one of the things is him being gay. We don't have any proof of that either, though. If we're being honest, we ain't got no proof. But when you gay and you got a lot of people saying like, homie, you fruit, it's a high, without the proof, I'm just saying it's a high and 50 called it out real quick. So it's a high probability that he could be fruitalicious, but that ain't against the law. Being fruitalicious is not against the law. So it's still like, well, we can't hold this against them because there's many other gay people. So who really gives a freak about that too?
I mean, listen, the way I'm 41 years old, right? I've been hearing Diddy gay rumors since 1999. So that's
Me
like
too.
what, 25 years.
Yeah.
I had a substitute teacher. The last period of high school, and the substitute teacher will come and just talk to the whole class about. He spent an hour talking about how Biggie Smalls and Diddy were actually gay, And this is my thing. Whether it's Will Smith, whether it's Diddy, whether it's to me, it seems like a rite of passage. If you become a successful black man, it's weird. Somebody's gonna call you gay. You know what I mean? It's like people are very homophobic towards successful black men. Have you noticed that, or is that just me?
Yeah. Well, one, there's no such thing as homophobia because phobia means a fear, and I don't think that people that say that they're speaking about gay people. I don't think that they have a fear of gay people. So let's just get that straight. Homophobia isn't real. I don't know anyone that's scared of a gay person. But in regards to the other things that you're speaking about, where they're trying to emasculate the black man, successful black man, by calling him gay. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, a lot of it is a he say, she say stuff. We don't have any proof of. Put it like this, bro. Will Smith and Jada Pinkett relationship, bro, he don't have any masculinity. If you're not gay, you a simp and you're a weak man. That's out there. The rumors got strong. It was almost like proof when we seen the Red Table Talk and we seen the way that his wife was speaking to him and humiliating him live on TV. It was almost like the proof we needed from all the rumors. Like, oh yeah, this nigga gay. He's never going to come out and confirm it, but it's like, okay, he's gay. All right, whatever it is. But I don't think that there's an agenda trying to emasculate these black people that's in Hollywood. I don't think it's an agenda. I just think that some of these niggas is gay.
No, I hear what you're saying. And as far as that term homophobia, I agree with you. See, the thing is, we live in a world where these terms get so pushed on us that you know what I mean? That we end up regurgitating these terms. So I
Fair
understand
enough.
what you're
Fair
saying
enough.
with that word. But as far as like, I mean, yeah, definitely Will Smith. Look, he's an extremely talented actor, and he's strong in his own rights when it comes to his success. But clearly, he's a weak man when it comes to Jada Pinkett Smith. I mean, it just is what it is. He's a weak man. But what I mean is, I just mean that as far as like you're saying with Diddy, me personally, I feel like in this world that we have with camera phones, right? Like women. Dude, if somebody that's successful, right, goes and sleeps with a man right now. Let's take a popular rapper like right now. Let's take the baby. If the baby says tonight he's gonna go and for the next year he's gonna sleep with different men, I can't believe that somebody wouldn't take a phone and expose him. Like I don't like. I just feel like it would be exposed with Diddy by now if it was like that. I don't think it's something that would be kept on the low. You know what I mean? Or what do you think?
Well, you got to think about it. Gay people is the protected class. So in society, coming out the closet, people will want to protect that. So say if someone do know. And it's like, I don't really, that's the protected class. So they can already be indoctrinated by the LGBTQ plus agenda. And it's like, okay, we got to protect gay people. We got to protect them. So we're not really going to, expose this. That's the first thing that I would say. So it's not really like you said that we living in 2025. We got cell phones. This is something that someone could just take a video and expose. I'm saying that with the influence and the propaganda of the LGBTQ movement, they're not incentivized to expose that. They think that would be morally wrong to expose that. So the other part in regards to the emasculation of, men, black successful men in Hollywood and stuff like that. Yeah, man, I don't really think that's happening. I think even with these movie roles and you see guys dressing up in a woman's dress or you see guys kissing other guys, bro, they choose to do that. So I think that they're doing it themselves because black people choose to go into these roles that's emasculating them anyway, as a black man. So I think they're doing it by choice. And I think that it isn't like a system in place to try to demasculate the black man. That's just my true thoughts on it. I don't think that there's another organization of some white people somewhere in Hollywood that's like, okay, these niggas look too strong. They got hip hop. They gangsters. Let's go ahead and try to emasculate them. No, you got Dwight Howard. He's full fruitalicious. In a relationship with a girl now, but he's bisexual. He sleeps with men. He's gay.
You don't think it's a group of people that mostly control the entertainment industry, like them boys? You don't think, you know what I mean? You don't think them boys control the entertainment industry? You don't think? I ask you a question? Do men have agency? Yes, they do. If
we have agency, let's take it step by step, because you're insinuating that. Do I think that there's a group of people, dumb boys? I think I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
That controls Hollywood and stuff like that, and they have an agenda to demasculate black men or something like that. Fair enough. Let's say if someone does have an agenda. My question to you is: do men have agency? Agency is the right to choose, to be responsible, and have authority over yourself. So they have to take accountability for their choices. So if these actors play these roles, if these actors do these things, they may not be fruit, right? Some actors aren't gay. I'm sure they play these roles and they're not gay at all. They dress up as a woman. I'm sure they're not gay. But you just take the L and, bro, you was indoctrinated to believe this stuff, but overcome that and move on. And then also talk to your community and let them know that, yeah, this wasn't the best role I played. I should have never, dressed like a chick or kissed this man in this movie. But, I learned from it. But I do think that any man that kissed a man in another movie, he gay. He gay. You kiss a man, you gay. I don't care if you act or not. But if you dress in clothes, it's like, you may not be gay, but it's still that you borderline.
Right. Well, you said men have agency, and I believe that. But I believe when you own something, you're gonna run it the way you want it ran. Like your podcast, No Fugazi podcast. When somebody comes into your studio, they can have on their mind what they want to do and the way they want to do things. But ultimately, that's your stuff. So when they come on your podcast, it's gonna get done the way you want it to get done. You understand what I mean? So if somebody owns the studios, if somebody owns the space that you're working in, and you have to play by their rules to a certain extent. Now, I'm not one of those people that think, oh, it's this huge, conspiracy, but there's always been a buck breaking element when it comes to even minstrel shows. Even there's always been something like we want to control. Like I do think society views black men as the most masculine archetype. So it's like, man, putting them in a dress is like funny. It's like funny to them. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think, you know, yeah, to me personally, whether somebody's kissing on camera or they're on a dress, see, if we don't know this, we might not know how powerful image is in media and culture and movies and how it does shape society. But trust me, they know. They know. That's why they do it. That's why they control it. That's why they make sure the images and the things that get put out to our community is very tailored in a way that they want us to see ourselves, in a way that they want us to be projected to the world. So we might not know the power of image, media, movies, culture, and influence, but trust me, they do. They do.
Yeah. So even if they understand something and they know something that maybe you don't know, whose fault is that?
Like, what do you mean?
What I'm saying is no one owes you understanding. They don't owe you understanding. The people that Hollywood that understand how images and videos and stuff, you know, can move a society or change a society in one direction or change a culture and influence a culture, they may know these things, right? But they don't owe you to tell them what they know. Like they don't owe us that. So what I say all of that to say that the world doesn't owe us understanding. It's up to us to be perspicacious enough to go out there and understand the world ourselves. Now, this is why we all make mistakes. We all bump our heads. Like we fall, we bump our heads. We fall, we bump our heads. But if you have to be able to learn from your mistakes. A wise man learns from other people's mistakes. That's great. If you don't bump your head, you that wise, brother, and you able to understand without being told actually how things are working, but you actually know how things are working because you're that bright and you're that aware. That's great. And you're able to learn from other people's mistakes. That's great. That's a small percentage of men and women that can do that. Most human beings, so what I'm saying is most human beings learn from other people's mistakes. So let's just say, like what you're saying here, what we have all of these men that dressed up in women's clothing. We still have Tyler Perry that's still making these shows dressing up in women's clothing, right? Medea and all of these movies. And he made, I think, like $1 billion off of Medea, right? So wouldn't you think that he should learn that is changing his culture and his people? But he didn't learn that. He's still enabling it and still putting out these movies. So the fault isn't on some organization, them boys controlling it. The fault would be on him for still producing these type of videos and not knowing and not having the knowledge that, bro, this is making the culture more feminine. This is demasculating men. This is ruining the image of the black man. But he's not smart enough to see that. So I get what you're saying, right? I feel you on that. But I'm just saying that, well, as men, we have to be able to, if you fall down, you got to be able to get up and learn from your mistakes. Don't do it again. Don't fall again from the same thing. Then you obviously didn't learn. And I think that black people in Hollywood that's still producing these videos of dressing in women's clothing, that's still taking these roles of kissing men, I think that they didn't learn from their mistakes. And guess what? A lot of them, I don't think that they think that it is a mistake. I think that they're just gay or naive, or they view the world from a feminist prism where they think that, well, this is normal. This is how things are. We've progressed in life. This is acceptable. We should accept all of these things. That's what I truly think it is. Even if they're heterosexual men doing these things, I think that they doing it because they've been indoctrinated by feminism. They took on the thinking and the ways of a woman, so they think that this is cool and it's normal to do. Or I think that they're just dumb and they just haven't learned from their mistakes. They're just going to keep bumping their head.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I think definitely like even speaking of Tyler Perry, I just think that there are some men that view the world from that feminist point of view. They might have grew up without dads, grew up in single mother households. I think the world, produces a lot of men today that just view the world as a gynocracy, you know what I mean? And views the black community as a matriarchy, and so even though it may be somebody that looks like you in that studio head, in that production role, all your skin folk ain't your kin folk, you know what I mean? So, I don't buy into the fallacy that just because Tyler Perry is black that he would do any different. What I'm trying to say is,
You mean this because he's black? He does just because he's black. It doesn't mean that he has black people's best intentions. That's what you're saying. Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So I would agree with you in stating that we need strong masculine men that understand the power of image to get these positions. That's why I support like a 50 Cent in Shreveport, Louisiana, creating his studio, or maybe like somebody who who builds their own pretty much.
Listen, I'm doing it right now. I'm doing it live on my podcast. Right now, I'm going on my Facebook with 1 million followers, and I'm putting slapping men's butts in sports is gay. We gotta have some rules. We gotta let people know that if you a man and you slapping another man's butt because he made a goal or made a basket or scored a touchdown, it's gay. We gotta let people know it's gay. I'm doing it now.
Yeah, most definitely, brother.
Listen, if you slap a man's butt during a sports game, you gay. I'm putting this post up right now on Facebook. A matter of fact, I'm going to put it on X too. Everybody go follow me on X. It's at No Fugazee Pod on X. And also all my social media links is right in the description. But go ahead, continue on.
No, yeah, and regarding the lady that was on the CNN panel, as far as like the whole victimhood thing, I mean, clearly she's a successful woman. She's on that CNN panel. She's far removed from most middle America's experience. Most people are living paycheck to paycheck. They're going to the grocery store. They can't afford anything because of inflation. They're trying to pay their bills. I'm pretty sure that lady is at the least 100,000 there, but she kind of still pushes this narrative like, woe is me. And,
bro, she in the top, you speaking facts. She's in the top 17% earners minimum, right? Because she's at least at 100K working for the CNN network and doing what she's doing, but she's still a victim.
How would you even know what other people make? I mean, I don't know of a place like that where generally you walk around, hey, Bill, how much you making? 450,000. Hey, Sarah, how much you making? 250,000. So I'm like, how would that conversation even come about,
Yo, that's facts.
But,
that is true.
My mentality has always been, I'm just a winner. As a man, even to remove it away from race or anything, I embrace obstacles. You know what I mean? I have discipline. I have fortitude where I actually enjoy an obstacle because I'm like, you know what? Oh, I got to do this and do this in order to get there. I got to achieve this, and then I got to go back. But you got to have the license for this. I'm like, oh, I know that's built for me because I know I have the discipline, and I know I have the fight in me to get that done. Life is going to bring you obstacles, but you gotta be a winner, and you gotta face that. Everybody faces obstacles, but you just gotta learn how to get through it.
That's facts. No one gets respect playing the game on easy mode. You play the game on easy mode, you don't get any respect if you beat the game on easy mode. And actually, when you think about it, if you ever played the game and you beat it on easy mode, you don't even feel like you really beat the game and accomplished something because it was on easy mode and you know you have another mode to get to accomplish the real thing. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you get respect when you play the game on hard mode and you beat the game. So yeah, man, that's facts. But listen, brother, I'm going to go ahead and get some other people up here and have a blessed one.
You too, bro.
Welcome to No Fuga, camera not on. Yo, turn on your camera. All right. Welcome to No Fugazee podcast. State your name and where you from.
Yeah, Black Boy Wonder, Uncut. I'm from Florida.
Okay. And what are you here to debate about?
I wouldn't say it's like a complete debate. I think I just want to get some understanding from you, really.
Okay. So not the debate, you want understanding. All right. Go ahead and ask me your question.
The truth is why I said it is because I believe most of the things you say, I agree with you. You know, I think there's only a few things that I probably say I don't really agree with. But like, for instance, you was just talking about how, you know, white people, you know what I'm saying, it ain't the white man's fault and all this and all that. And I guess this relates to that clip with that black woman, and she's talking about how she's being like oppressed or whatever. I don't really agree with her per se, but I wanted to ask you, do you believe that racism exists?
Okay, one thing. You said that you don't agree with her stance in the clip. And you also don't agree with my response in the clip. So then what do you agree with?
No, I'm not saying I don't agree with your response. I never mentioned your response in the clip.
Well, you said that when I spoke about there's something you just said. You said that you don't agree with.
Yeah, I'm saying I don't agree with what she said.
Okay.
Right? How she feels about the situation. I think that's a whole different type of situation, right?
So then what part do you disagree with what I said?
With what you said.
Yeah.
I don't really disagree. Okay, I see what you're asking. So I guess for me personally, I do believe that there is an oppressive system, but I don't believe that it's a system that you can't defeat, right? I do believe like one-on-one, you are your biggest op, and you can't climb to any heights, but there is a system. Right, that's what I believe, and I think I'm just why I'm trying to get some understanding from you. That's why I asked you, do you believe racism exists? I'm just trying to understand like why you would say what you said, I guess.
Okay. Well, I understand now. The reason why you asked that question is because you don't understand what I said. So you said the point of contention or the point that you kind of disagree with what I said when I said, well, it's not the white man's fault. It's the black man's fault. That's the part you disagree with because you just said that. You there?
Yeah, I'm just having a bit of an issue.
Camera just froze.
Yeah,
I'll continue speaking though.
Yeah.
And the reason why you said that you don't agree is because white people are still oppressing us. That's what you believe. So here's the thing. You believe that currently white people are still oppressing black people. And do you believe that there's some systems in place that they're using to oppress us? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't believe that.
Okay.
So there's the thing. There's the misbelief. For your question, for you to ask, do I believe in racism? Yes, I do believe in racism. I do believe people are prejudiced towards people. And groups are prejudiced towards people based off of their race or ethnicity.
Okay.
That's my definition of race. So I do believe that. But that doesn't mean, even though I can believe that, that doesn't mean that I think that there's a system in place, that I believe that there's a system of place by white people currently today in the United States, that white people are oppressing black people. I'll tell you why. Because there's no laws currently right now that's oppressing black people. You are a black man. I'm a black man. There's not. Name one thing that a white man can do that me and you can't do.
Okay. I would say own a prison.
You said own a prison?
Yeah.
Have you ever tried to own a prison?
Nah, I haven't tried. Nah.
So why can't me and you own a prison?
Okay, that's a good question because I got no evidence, right, to prove what I'm saying. So
you gotta think.
What I would say is like a lot of people that have tried to do a lot of things, you know what I'm saying, like take certain power. Like for instance, what's his name? Spike Lee. He wanted to buy the Knicks and own the Knicks, but really he couldn't. He could only really own shares. Do you get what I'm saying? I think he ended up selling those shares, but
why couldn't he?
Everything. This is the thing, right? Everything that I will say in that regard is gonna be like it's just coming from me making up a conspiracy, right? There's no hard evidence, right?
Okay,
to answer
so
your question.
That's totally fine, and I know that. So we know this though.
Yeah, I want to say something to that though, but go on.
We know this. We know that if you want to buy something in America, America is, it's capitalism at its peak, right? America is a capitalist country. If you want to buy something, you can buy it if you have the resources. That's why Elon Musk was able to buy Twitter, right? He had the 40 billion or 44 billion, whatever it was like 40 or 45 billion. He was able to do that because he had the capital to do it. You get what I'm saying? It wasn't dumb boys or, some system in place, a law like, you know what? You can't do that. You can't do it. Right? If he has the money, he could do it. Guess what? There's not a lot of black billionaires. And then the black billionaires that are billionaires, they're at the very, very low bottom of all the billionaires in America. So they just don't have enough money. The reason why Spike Lee couldn't buy the Knicks, because he didn't have enough money to go ahead and buy it. Guess what? I remember when he was trying to buy the Knicks, he was partnering up with other people to try to buy the Knicks, right? But he can only buy into the Knicks, like Jay-Z bought into... what team? I think it was the Nets that Jay-Z owns part ownership or some basketball team, like, or even Jordan owns part of the Wizards. Yeah, right? Yeah. So he's not the full owner, but he's a big owner in it. He has a lot of stake in the Wizards, right? But there's other white billionaires that owns the team with him as well. He's one of the owners, but become like the main owner, right? Because when you go public, it's public, so people can still buy shares into it. But if you are the main shareholder, you are the main owner. You feel what I'm saying? So with that being said, most of these niggas just don't got the capital to do it. But I'm sure if they had the capital to do it, they would do it. But guess what? Life is a competition. So Spike Lee, he was in competition with people that made more money than him and had more money than him. And guess what? The reason why he didn't buy the Knicks is because he lost the competition. And I think as black people, we have to get out of this victim mindset and get into the competition mindset, right? Don't become a victim and view yourself as a victim and view the world from a victim lens. Understand the reality of the world, and the world is competition, right? And you are a competitor in this competition, which means that you can be outcompeted, or which means that you can outcompete someone else. So go ahead and put your best foot forward and put your all into it. This is why when I do my podcast, even if you rewind the tape back, I was speaking about myself. I said, listen, when I play ball currently right now, I'm at the park playing with little kids that's 12 years old. They don't win no games with me. I'm playing hard to get them ready for reality, like, nigga, to prepare you for reality. Like, don't nothing come for free. Ain't no easy mode over here. It's hard mode all the time, because that's life. You don't get anything playing easy. You don't get anything playing soft. You don't reach your goals or become successful not giving it your all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
I agree.
At the end of the day, the reason why black people are in the positions that they are in is because they lack the ability to really assert themselves like that and really to push forward. Like you said, like we don't like to hear the words pull yourself by your own bootstraps, but it's a fact. Niggas, lace up your Timbs and get to work. Out-compete these other competitors. But go ahead, sure, ask me.
Yeah, I want to ask you. I don't know. Oh, my camera, man. If you can hear me, I'm just okay. I don't know what you identify as, right?
What do you mean?
A lot of people in America, when it comes to I guess cultural identity, you know what I'm saying? People go by FBA. Some people,
yeah, man. Listen,
saying that they're
listen. I'm
native.
straight,
But
nigga.
I just want to ask you a question.
Great grandmother,
Okay, for sure.
great grandfather,
Me too.
they were from the soil of slaves. They was straight slaves. So
like that.
some people would call me a foundational Black American. But yeah, man, I'm born and raised in the projects.
Me personally, I believe that there is some connection for us to Africa, right? But that doesn't really matter. I just got a specific question to ask you. In Africa, they got military bases from the States out there. And Africa, as we know, is probably the most underdeveloped continent in the world, right? But they had an oil refinery in Africa. And America bombed that oil refinery and destroyed it. So it basically rendered the people there unable to really produce their own economy.
So the truth is this, bro. America has a monopoly globally. That's the facts. America has the monopoly globally. We got our bases pretty much everywhere. Of course, not in like the bigger countries like Russia. We ain't got no, or China. I don't think we have any embassies over there, possibly. But anyways, we got bases pretty much almost everywhere, and we got embassies pretty much almost everywhere. With that being said, we got a monopoly on things. We live in the best country, and you know that, right? So stop it right there. Look, stop right there.
When it comes,
so since you know that we live in and I'll get to what you said before, because I'll give you my perspective on the whole United States and Africa thing. We have the monopoly. We are the best country. How can you have a victim mindset? How is it possible? Real quick, let me finish my statement.
Okay.
And it's no question here. It's a statement. How is it possible for a grown man to have the victim mindset when you live in the best country in the world? And everybody knows it's the best country, but they'll say little stuff like, well, it isn't the best country because of what? Well, because, depending on what they were indoctrinated by, well, they really can't answer anything. We got clean water. We got the most opportunity. You can do anything you want out here. Well, because police are shooting black people. 10 black people get killed by 10 unarmed black people get killed by cops a year. Imagine if you go into another country. You think you ain't gonna be killed? You think there's not killings going on? There's not unjust murders going on and stuff? The rates are extremely higher because they're not as organized. It's more chaotic. You know what I'm saying? So we are the best country on all regards. On all regards, we're the best country. Now, are there other countries that, that's not indoctrinated by feminism to the degree that we are? Yeah, there's some other, Middle Eastern countries that isn't indoctrinated to the degree of feminism that we're indoctrinated in, and the policies that we have, in place on, especially with marriage and these other things, right? So we could always find like little things, but overall, like America is the best country, my dog. We're the best country. But now I just wanted to answer the part about your statement when you said, America, we had a deal, but we blew up some of their oil industries. And what country was that in Africa?
I think
Uganda.
it was
Okay,
Uganda.
you could be right.
Can't be certain.
All good,
It was a
totally
couple
fine.
years
So
ago.
the thing is, the only way that Uganda could, not have their oil companies blown up by another company is if they were stronger, if they had more force, if they had a stronger military to combat the forces that was going against them. That's the only way. So what does that mean? If someone has force and I have force, it's a competition. There's no oppressor or a victim. No, that's only from which lens you look at it. It's subjective. The subjective lens is, well, if I lose, then okay, they oppressed me, right? I'm a victim and I view them as the oppressor. It's subjective. When you view it objectively, it's a competition because that's the reality. There's always going to be a winner and there's always going to be a loser, right? So I teach my audience to understand and live in reality that life is a competition. And if things don't go your way, well, one, it's because you lost the competition, someone outcompeted you, or you made the wrong choice yourself, which still means you lost the competition, right? So it's like, and the truth is that God doesn't even want you to view yourself as a victim. Even if something bad happened to you, you think God wants you to view yourself as a victim? No, Jesus came back to, save us from all of our sins anyway. Fine, God, that's a different, going into a different path, into a more religious conversation. But if you are a believer in God, Jesus, let's say, then you know that you can repent for your sins, and you know that even though suffering can feel so overwhelming that you find no way out, you know that you can still find meaning through suffering by following Jesus. So, with these worldly things that we go through, these adversities, these traumas that we may experience, you can get caught up into it, and you can be like, man, I'm a victim. Why me? Like the meaning is very thin when you have this view and you don't believe in something that's higher than yourself, and you don't believe in a savior, right? But Jesus came and he saved us for our sins. And guess what? We find meaning on things. When you're a Christian, you find meaning in things outside of earth, not just these earthly things. So even though you can be living on Section 8 and you can be broke and maybe not have the best life, be grateful for what you have, but still put in that work, and don't be no victim. Don't be no victim.
I agree. I think victim mentality is a mentality of defeat. But you look a lot like Nipsey, and it reminds me of
funny
the situation. No, I'm not. Honestly, I'm not trying to be funny. I'm being dead ass. Like Nipsey Hussle, was a great dude, and there were a lot of things that he was doing that I think caused him to meet his demise. And this is why, like, I feel the way I feel, that there is these systems. Yeah, and I think that it's our duty as a people to, like you say, win the competition, right? But it's like these systems, to me, they do exist because you got people like Nipsey Hussle, Dr. Sebi, you know what I'm saying? You got people that have gone against the establishment to make certain things possible or relevant or revealed to, the open, basically mainstream. And a lot
what
of people
do you mean
just
by
get
Nipsey
deleted.
Hussle? So you're insinuating that Nipsey Hussle, you're insinuating that Nipsey Hussle death wasn't because that man ran up inside his store and shot him, but it was actually a more conspiratorial belief that's like, since he's believing in these things that Dr. Sebi is talking about and stuff like that, we're taking him out, and the government was involved.
I mean, look at Malcolm X. And yes, I am, to answer your question, because they don't come after but
the whole
people.
Dr. Sebi thing and all of this stuff, his his holistic medicine and all of these things, people are still doing that now. Like, it didn't stop. Like, the internet is out there, bro. If you go on TikTok, there's so many people that's promoting that has way more followers than Dr. Sebi ever had, and way more followers than Nipsey Hussle had, that's literally promoting the same products that the same products and procedures, let's say, or way of eating and diets that Dr. Sebi is promoting. Fast for a long time, get yourself skinny, eat these alkaline foods and these alkaline
That's
water
true.
is the most popping thing now. You think that they were trying to
influence. They have
what
no
are you?
influence.
But what I'm saying is all of the things, all of the recipes that Dr. Sebi was speaking about, it's already
That's
mainstream, bro. So like they did. So even if they deleted him, so let's say they wanted to delete him and Nipsey Hussle, so it doesn't go mainstream. It was already mainstream before they were speaking about it. Not like fully, but it depended on what culture you were looking at it from, because I knew about all of these holistic little diets that you can go on prior to Dr. Sebi. I knew about it because, nigga, they got Whole Foods. Black people don't got the money to shop at Whole Foods. White people already know about this junk. What is Whole Foods for? You go there, the food is mad expensive, but they got the best type of foods. You can get, you can't get turmeric from Walmart, but if you go to Whole Foods, you can get turmeric.
All right, fair enough. I think I understand your
Like, you feel what I'm saying? It's just like we was looking from a lens where we just didn't have the information. So it was more like it was naive. So we made up a conspiracy to, you know, blame the white man for something, a victim lens. We were still viewing it. Well, you were viewing it from, and a lot of black people, not just you, but a lot of black people viewed those two deaths from a victim lens.
I feel you. All right. So I wanted a couple, like, I watch your show, you know what I'm saying?
But no, real talk, bro. Just go online. It may not be a Whole Foods around. Just look up Whole Foods, bro.
Yeah.
Whole Foods got Foods. You ain't even got to order nothing from another country. Now you go to Whole Foods, you get it, nigga.
Nah, they got the words. I wanted to talk to you about obviously you know you with your missus, and would you say that since you got with who you're with now, that your revenue increased any?
No. What the heck?
No. All right, cool. So when it comes to marriage, you often say a lot of times that you believe in marriage, but not the modernity where we're at today with marriage, and you say you're not going to get married. But
culture and the laws, it's not equivalent currently right now.
I get that, but this is the thing, I believe in God, and I believe, you know, in the Savior and all that, in the Bible. I'm not a Christian, but I do believe in the Bible, yeah. But this is the thing: don't you believe that we are supposed to follow the laws of the land, and therefore, if we are, then we should be married?
Okay, so you said that we should follow the laws of the land, and if we follow the laws of the land, then we should be married?
Yeah.
Okay.
Asking.
To answer your question, I do not believe that we should follow all the laws of the land. And in the Bible, it says that you don't follow the laws of the land. Should you abort your child? Does God want you to do that? Like, no, come on, bro. That sounds silly.
Well, in the scripture, it says that if those laws don't contradict the laws of God.
Exactly. So there's many laws that contradicts the laws of God, and marriage is one of them.
Okay. So basically, because of like all of the divorces and the settlements and all these things.
No,
okay,
not because of that.
What laws would you like? Why is it? What laws is it why you don't believe?
No. It's very simple. People can get married if they want by the state. It's very simple. I'm not ever telling anyone not to get married. I've never promoted don't get married. Never promoted that at all. Not at all. I've never told a woman don't get married. I've never told a man don't get married. I say, yeah, you want to get married, go ahead. I just wouldn't encourage you to get married through the state. get married through the church. But if you want to get married through the state, by any means, do what you want. You are a man. You make your decisions, but try to get a prenup and stuff like that. But prenups aren't always safe either. With that being said, I'll ask you a question and I'll have you answer it. Do you think marriage and modernity follows biblical principles?
See, I would say, yeah.
How?
Well,
explain.
You have the civil ceremony, yeah, and then you make your vows and that and you sign the paper, and so.
And biblical principle, was the woman ever incentivized to divorce the man, which would make the woman the head?
No, I haven't found that in the scriptures.
So you would say that since that's not in the scripture, and in modernity, women are incentivized to divorce the man, but they are also equal to the man, right? They are able to go out there and earn just as much as a man and all of that. There's no gender roles within this law. Also, everything that the man wants from the woman, like, actually, let's speak about the woman first. Everything that the woman wants from the man, like protection, providing, resources, stuff like that. It's if a divorce happens, there's a court order so they can extract that from the man. Right? Yeah. So, but everything that the man wants from the woman, like sex, submissiveness, follow my lead, be feminine. If divorce happens, they can't extract that from the woman. Yeah, so the woman still gets everything from the man that she got in the marriage after the divorce. But the man doesn't get anything from the woman. And now let's just say that the woman is making more money than the man. And she got to pay him resources. He still ain't getting what he wanted. He wanted sex, sandwiches, and submissiveness. The court should be telling the woman, listen, you ain't got to pay the man resources if you're making more money. But guess what? After divorce, you still got to give him sex. After divorce, you still got to cook him food. And after divorce, you still got to be feminine and follow his lead. They ain't making her do that. But they are still making men. We still got to pay her money, provide for her, and do all of this. You get what I'm saying? So it's immoral. It's immoral. It doesn't follow biblical principles at all. It makes the woman the head. It puts the woman in the leadership role. This is why I am not for myself getting married in modernity. For myself, currently today, I wouldn't get married by the state, by the courts. I'll go into a church and do it, but it wouldn't be through the courts. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's what I say. And that's just for me. But if someone else want to do it, hey, brother, go ahead and do it. I'm not going to say don't do it. I'll just be like, try to get a prenup at least.
Fair enough. I guess I got peace with that with you. I just wanted to ask you this last thing, and I know you got a lot of other people to get to, but I just wanted to ask you this last thing, really. Do you believe that Christ or the Bible is a black man?
I mean, I think the nigga black. I believe he black. But I'll be clear.
Yeah.
If he wasn't black, I wouldn't care.
Of course. I respect that.
But here's the thing. Well. This was one of the ways where that was one of the things where I was like, I'm getting out of the victim mindset, because before I had to ask myself the question when I was like 24 or whatever. And I'm like in that victim mindset, and I'm like, the white man is like evil. It's all because of the white man's fault. And I'm looking at everything from this victim lens. I asked myself the question, like, wait, I know, and I do know, Jesus is black, but let's just say when Jesus came back, he's white. I'm going to hell. Because in my mind, I got some racist, some prejudice up there. So I had to relinquish that. And I think that most black people got to relinquish that. And then they'll see things from more of a competitive lens. Like, hey, man, you get what you deserve because you ain't put in the work. You know what I'm saying? And life is unfair anyway. Like we all start at different starting points. It is what it is.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there, man. You know, I just want to say thanks for having me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, I like the debates you have, especially about the Hebrews and stuff like that. One of the most interesting things that you do. But yeah, man, you can drop me, you know.
All right, man. Well, have a blessed one. I appreciate the support, and have a good one, man. Welcome to No Fugazee Podcast. State your name and where you're from.
Here in Kansas City.
Say your name again. Couldn't hear you.
Yeah, my name is Aaron.
You said Aaron?
Yeah.
Aaron. Okay.
Yeah.
Aaron. And what are you here to debate about?
I'm here to debate whether blacks should get reparations, whether we should get reparations or not.
Okay.
My position is I believe that it's reasonable for us to get them.
Okay. And where are we going to accumulate these resources from? Where are we going to extract these resources from?
From the government.
And who pays the government?
Citizens.
All right. So citizens like, whites, Mexicans, other blacks, stuff like that.
Yes.
So we're just going to be pretty much paying back ourselves, including with some other people.
Well, we're 13% of the population, so that would be, what would that be, 87% of the rest of the population paying us the reparations. So,
okay. Yeah. And you're fine with that?
Yeah.
Got it. And so everyone will be paying into a pool of reparations for black people, including black people themselves. And they will be paying back for these reparations to current black people that was never slaves. So you think that current people should pay for
actually, I would say
people? Okay, go ahead.
Actually, I don't think that blacks should. I don't think blacks themselves should put in the pool. I think it should be the rest of the population.
Okay, well, the rest of the population in America is Chinese people, Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, Haitians, other Africans, and white people. Yes. You think all of them should be paying?
Yes.
But the Mexicans didn't enslave black people, so why should they pay reparations?
Well, because they benefit off of the labor that black slaves contributed to the foundation of America.
But the money isn't going to the black slaves. The money is going to the current black people that were never slaves.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the reason why that...
So I got a question for you.
Okay.
So let's say if you get with a chick and this chick accumulated a lot of debt from her ex. Should you pay that debt off?
Hell no.
My nigga, you just defeated your whole argument.
No, I definitely disagree.
You just what?
No, so
you just defeated your entire argument. Do you want me to explain?
Okay. Yeah, go ahead. Explain it.
Okay. The question that I asked is, if you got with a woman and her ex gave her a lot of debt, not by her fault. Currently, her ex gave her a lot of debt. I asked you. Let me finish.
Give her a lot of debt
by having things in her name that he wasn't paying off, stuff like that. Nigga, how else do you incur debt? And then,
okay.
And then you get with her.
Go ahead.
All right. Then you get with her, and she asks you, like, "Hey, can you pay off this debt that my ex Kenny accrued in my name?" And you're gonna say no, right? And the reason why you would say no is because you wasn't the one that put her in debt, right?
Correct.
So think about white people today.
Okay.
White people, put yourself, because here is having a perspective. A perspective is the art of viewing the world outside of yourself and putting yourself in someone else's shoes. And that's empathy as well, too, is when you can truly put yourself in someone's shoes. So put yourself in a white man's shoes. And that entire example That entire hypothetical that I just gave you is the white man's shoes. The white man, what you're essentially saying is, white man, pay off the debt of something that you didn't put them through.
Okay.
That happened in the past. To the white man's lens, they would give your answer like, no, I'm not paying off that nigga's debt. The white man is like, yeah, no, I'm not. Why would I pay off some debt that my ancestors enslaved some people? I didn't enslave those people.
Okay, but they benefit. Okay, I feel okay. Your metaphor or the example that you gave is a bad example. In my opinion, it's a bad example.
Okay,
wow. Now I will present a more accurate.
It's a hypothetical to test your logic, and your logic just failed. But go ahead,
now,
present a better one.
A more accurate depiction of what was actually going on. Okay, so basically they're white people today, they're still benefiting from their ancestors from the labor from slavery. They're still benefiting from it because the money that was made, the power that was gathered from the institution of slavery, it rolled over. It got passed down to them.
But there's white people that didn't have any slaves. Most of the population in America weren't slave owners. You know that, right?
Yeah, I understand that. I do understand that.
Yeah, and don't you know the first legal slave owner was a black man?
First legal slave. Okay.
Like when it was actually legal to have a slave, it was a black man. It wasn't a white man.
Okay. Okay. Well, no, I wasn't aware of that. But I do believe that whites have benefited more, way more, disproportionately, way more than any black slave owner would have. So it was a majority of white people that were doing it. So they were benefiting majority from it.
Don't you think that black people currently today benefit from it today? That what their ancestors did? Black people in America. I said, don't you think that black people today, currently living in America, have benefited from the work that their ancestors put in? Because the black people in America is in a first world country, the best country in the world, and they're doing a lot better than other black countries. Think about the other black countries in Africa. Africa, that big old continent with many black countries. Think about islands, Jamaica, the Bahamas. You have DR. You got, black people and Puerto Ricans mixed pretty much. Well, Haitians and Puerto Ricans pretty much mixed, but that's another story. But you got Haiti. Black people in America is well off and doing much better than any other black person in the world. So wouldn't you say that that's a benefit? So not only did white people benefit from, America being created and built, but black people also benefited. And then the immigrants that came over, they benefited as well. The Mexicans, the Italians, the Irish. Yeah, you come over here, you're going to benefit as well because we put in this work and we built the country up. But the black man didn't build the country up himself. The white man built the country up too. What are you talking about? That's the master. That was the leader. It's like if you go to any company, you have your CEO, you have the board of directors, you have the managers, and then you got the laborers getting paid $10 an hour, but the higher up people are getting paid $500,000 a year. You get what I'm saying? So the thing is, even manipulation happens when you focus on the effects instead of going to the root, the cause of it. So let's just go to the root, because it seems like you're curious and it seems like you came on here wanting to debate, but I want to help you think a little bit. And I'm not saying this in a condescending way to infringe on to make you seem unintelligent. Let's just think with me. So we do know that prior to the colonizers coming over, going to Africa, we do know that Africa is a continent with many different nations, and it was already slavery going on in Africa.
Okay.
We do know that. We do know that with the Atlantic slave trade, we do know that black people sold other black people, not really their own people, but they sold other nations that they took over, and they sold those black people. We do know that. So if we go to the root, shouldn't those black people that sold us to the white man pay us back? Like, if you're really trying to, like,
I would say no.
Like, if you're really trying to say, well, who's the oppressor? Who truly started this? Who truly did this? We would have to say the black people that sold other black people to the white man.
Well, I would say that some of the slaves were actually kidnapped. So it was three different. It was three ways that blacks became slaves. It was one
totally fine. Some of them
they were sold. One, two.
I know that. Yep. I'm only speaking about the ones which was a majority. I'm only speaking about the ones that were sold by other Africans. So it was other African nations sold other African nations to the white man. If we're really going to blame someone, we got to go to the root. We got to go to the cause of it. That's where if you're going to play the blame game, we would have to say, well, whichever nation sold us to the colonizers, to these white men, well, they're really to blame, because that's just cause and effect. That's supply and demand. Like other nations in Africa, they had the supply. Hey, the demand came and was like, all right, well, we give you this and give me your slaves.
Okay, now I'm
that's
with
like
you.
a natural occurrence. Okay,
yeah, I agree. That was wrong. That was messed up, and somehow, yeah. If we knew how to get compensated from them, yeah, I'm with you.
Okay, so we saying we should get them too.
Check me out though. But slavery was an institution that was enforced by the American government, so that's why I believe that the reparations should come from that government that enforced slavery.
No, slavery was everywhere, man. Slavery was everywhere. Like when you just read a little bit, put in Google, and you'll see that many of the Arabic nations, they enslaved so many black people. And white people were enslaved by black people as well. White people was enslaved by other white people. Slavery was like happening rampant. It was going on. That's what it was, right? So I'm trying to get you to like logically think about things, because it just doesn't logically make sense for black people currently today to say, hey, the white man and also the Mexicans and anyone else that lives in America that benefits from America, that what our past ancestors did, should pay us, when everybody benefits and we all benefit from it. Let me ask you a question.
Okay,
Would you want to?
I
got one question, and then I'll let you ask a question.
All right.
If slavery was so bad, and you're upset in your current position because of all the years of slavery, so you think that we need reparations?
I'm not, but go ahead.
Maybe you're not upset, but you think that we need reparations because...
I don't think we need it. I think it'd be fair.
Will be fair. Okay. So you think it will be fair if we get reparations today?
Yeah.
But let me ask you, if you're thinking about what's fair, would you trade places currently today with all the opportunities that you have, and switch places, and like your entire everything would be changed, like your upbringing would be changed and everything, and switch places with someone in some like Kenya in Africa, Zimbabwe?
Would I switch places with their life?
Would you switch places
with somebody in Kenya?
With someone in Uganda, Kenya, any type of country in Africa?
Well,
would
actually,
you trade places?
I heard a lot of good stuff about Kenya. I heard a lot of good stuff about Kenya. I wouldn't mind living in Kenya. But
you would fully trade.
But even to what you're saying,
answer
those
the
places
question,
were colonized as well. But yeah. I wouldn't mind living in Kenya. I heard a lot of good stuff about Kenya.
No. Okay, so you're totally okay with how you were raised in America, having clean water. Kenya today, how old are you?
34.
Oh, nigga, you about my age.
Yeah.
Kenya today, in certain areas, is doing a little bit better. Being raised all the way up until you were, let's say, you being in Kenya, just 10, 15 years ago, nigga, no clean water. You coming up with not living good.
But check me out though. Wasn't the entire African continent colonized by Europe, and could contribute to the situation that they got going on over there?
Okay, so you're saying that you're like French. I know the French. They own
the French, the British,
a lot. The
England,
British.
Yeah, they colonized the entire in the 1800s.
China.
All the way from the 1300s all the way to the 1800s, they had colonized the whole Africa. Whole Africa was colonized.
Okay, so what's your point?
So it's still the same. It's still the same entity that's, fucking shit up. Pretty much.
Okay, so your point is that even if you traded places, you still have an oppressor.
It's still basically they are the ones that kind of they colonize that whole entire area.
You've proven a point. You've proven a point that I'm making. No matter how you try to change the scenario, anytime you're viewing it from an oppressor lens, you're always going to look at it like that. But instead of viewing it from its true form, competition. The reason why those countries in Africa are, not America, and other countries are not America, is because they lost the competition. They didn't prioritize the things that they should have prioritized to win the competition. But go ahead, ask your question. I'm sorry.
Okay, so do you believe in? I know you believe in morality. You believe in God and all that, right?
Yeah. One second, real quick. I see you, Leo Bridgewater and Dr. Artis. Shake your head for me, Leo Bridgewater, if you want to come up now to have this discussion with this guy, or you want to wait till he gets off. Okay, you'll wait. And also, Dr. Artis, would you shake your head for me, because I can see you backstage, if you want to come up now to have this debate about reparations with us, or you want to wait till later? Shake your head for now. Oh, you want to come up now? Okay, let him ask his question, then I'll bring you up, Dr. Artis. And Leo Bridges, you'll come in after I get him off. Go ahead, man. Ask your question.
So you believe in I know you believe in God, so you believe in right and wrong and stuff like that, right? So let's just say I'm gonna give you a hypothetical. Let's just say I bust the windows out your car, right? I bust the windows out your car. You believe that you should be able to sue me, right? And be compensated for the damage you did, the damage that was done, right?
Okay, and in current society and how the laws and the regulations apply today, yes, that's the current standard. But these laws that we have in place in our court system, it's enforced by men. So yeah, today I would say if that happened, you bust the windows out my car, take you to court.
Okay, yeah, and you would be compensated for the damage that was done. So you believe in that. You believe in that concept. And in America, slavery has been unconstitutional. It's been against the law.
But so, the reason is not real quick.
Can I finish?
Yeah, but real quick, because I don't want you to go off before we tackle this point.
Okay.
It's not that I believe in that system of how things should be. Is that men are there to protect and to give us the right for the system to be in place. So what I believe in is the patriarchy that America follows. And most countries that's doing good, it's a patriarchy, and men give rights and men enforce rights. So that's what I believe in. And the only way you can give and enforce rights is if you are ahead of the competition, because that means you have more manpower. You constructed the laws and the guidelines and everything. You brung a forth order.
Yeah.
Right? And peace instead of chaos and destruction. So that's what I believe in. Not just the whole like, oh, well, yeah, you know, if you bust the windows out my car, then yeah, I'll go ahead and sue you and you'll have to pay me that back. I know that you'll have to pay me that back because I believe in a system that if you don't pay me back, a man is going to come down and put you to jail and enforce my right for me because I have to respect that. If that wasn't a system there, I don't believe in that.
Okay.
If it wasn't a system there, you break the windows out my car, nigga, I'm busting you in your face. That's the system I believe in. The strongest survive because that's the reality of things. I have to enforce my own right. So guess what? You bust the windows out my car. When I see you, I'm busting the windows out your car. I'm tying you up and I'm making you work for me. Nigga, you gonna be my slave and fix every window. And matter of fact, pay that debt off because that's how the world worked before we organized things. Slavery was like, oh, you do something for someone. Well, the reason why you're working for this person is, well, one, they're paying you a salary for you to build something, but they're giving you something back. Or it's like you're a slave to them because you're in debt to them, meaning that you borrowed something from them, so you're working it off. That's how it worked. Or you did damage to them, so you're working it off. That's the system I believe in.
Okay. Now,
we're just more organized now.
Would you say that slavery was unconstitutional?
Well, unconstitutional to the Constitution?
Yeah, was it against? Would you say that it was unconstitutional? Like it was against American values?
Nigga, the Constitution was for slavery. No, I wasn't for slavery. I'm playing.
No.
We can say that. I mean, if you get into
or against the Constitution.
How could it be against the Constitution if slavery was already happening prior to the Constitution, before it was even created?
Once the Constitution,
was established, you mean? Okay, that's what you're saying. Once it was established.
From that point on.
Well, it wasn't something in the Constitution about that, you know, black people were, and I'm not sure about the Constitution. I don't know everything about the Constitution, but wasn't it like black people was like 3/5 or something of a white person or something like that?
Yeah, I'm stumped on that too. I'm not sure if that was the Constitution.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. But
that was something to do with voting.
Okay, instead of Constitution, because
I believe it was
or did too much research. But are you saying that was slavery immoral? Is that a better way to frame the question? That's what you're asking me?
No, in some type of, and I'd have to apologize. I had to do better research, you know what I'm saying? But in some way, in some document, whether it would have been the Article of Federations or the Constitution.
It could have been unconstitutional.
It was against
totally fine.
The foundation of America. So I'm saying that. So basically, we like you said, we're going by law now.
But we had a whole civil war. So even if it was even if it was, let's just grant it all to you. Even if it was slavery was unconstitutional, like by law, we shouldn't have been doing it. Well, we had a whole civil war to fight against it because it was unconstitutional. And guess who won? The Republicans won. The Democrats lost.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? And we got rid of slavery. Slavery was abolished. So,
but even after,
with that being said, it's like.
But even after that, it just changed forms. Slavery just changed forms. They had they had something called the Black Codes, where you were free. Yes, you were free, but you basically there were these codes where essentially the only thing that you really could do was do agriculture. I'm not 100% sure about exactly what the Black Codes are, but we can research and read it. You was damn near like you were still in slavery. These
if
codes,
that's the case, then how are we able to create Black Wall Street?
You talking about much later? You talking about much later?
What do you mean much later, bro?
After we were freed from slavery.
Yeah, we were free. So think about it. We were free from slavery, and black people were slaves. But they knew all the ways of creating things because the slaves was doing most of the work. So we knew all the labor work on how to build things and fix things up. We knew all of that. We had that information, that knowledge. So after slavery was abolished, what was it? Maybe 20 years later, 30 years later, Black Wall Street, or maybe 40 years. I don't know the numbers, but after that, it wasn't too much later. I'll just look it up, bro, so we can speak in facts.
Okay.
So we both, because we don't know. We're both uneducated on the topic to an extent. So
I mean, but
as far as the numbers.
It's been a while since I studied this, but I just wanted. It's been a minute since I studied all this stuff. But
all right, so slavery was abolished in 1865. 1865, and
you said Tulsa, right? No, you said Black Wall Street is what you're talking about.
Black Wall Street. Let's see here. We looking at 1906, and this was in Tulsa. So 1906. That's when stuff. So what is that? That's
40 years later. So
yeah.
You mean,
so like I said 20 to 40 years. I guess so I was right.
You talking about the Tulsa? You talking about the Tulsa that got bombed? You talking about the Tulsa that got bombed?
No, I'm saying we know the effects of it. I'm saying that if it was this, you said some black card. What was it?
Black codes.
Black codes
was immediately after slavery.
Sure, and sure was some things that to try to hold black people back because it was still racist white people around. For sure. Great. You know these things, right?
Sure.
But even within that, 40 years later, black people own restaurants, own movie theaters, they own many things, bus stations. We policed our own neighborhoods, stuff like that.
This was sabotage, though, right?
But why was it?
Because black. I'm not 100% sure why, but I'm assuming it's because they didn't like the black progress, so they wanted to sabotage it.
Yeah, but people, of course, like if I don't like you, I could punch you in your face. But what would be? If I don't like you, I could punch you in your face and take your wallet. What would make me stop? What can stop me from punching you in the face and taking your wallet? Tell me.
The police.
Besides the police, if they're not around, who else?
It would have to be me.
Got it. Now you thinking.
Stop it
right there. Look. Stop. Listen. Listen. Let me just finish my point. Only you can stop me from punching you in your face and taking your wallet. So that means that if you have to protect your own rights. So black people started Black Wall Street, but they didn't have the ability to protect Black Wall Street. So that means that you have to protect yourself. In the Bible, I don't want to go biblical, but I'm just giving numbers. When, the Israelites, one of the first rules that God said was number everyone. Number everyone in the community. But the first number I want you to focus on, what he made priority: military protection. Number the boys and put them in the military. Protect yourself. So before you even start really building, we gotta protect. Because how can we sustain anything? Like, we can build some stuff, but how are we going to maintain it and sustain it if people aren't going to protect us? You get what I'm saying? So I think that Black Wall Street, where they failed at, cool, they started building laundromats as work, but nigga, they already knew how to build the guns and all that. You put my mindset back there, nigga, we would have been militant. We would have been militant. We would have been the strongest black niggas. Strongest. Guns popping out from everywhere, nigga. They wouldn't even be able to come in the city. Listen, white people, the evil white people back then would have got their limbs blown off, headshots to the face. 0 survivors.
Okay. Now,
that's all I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Now, this earlier in the like when I use the example of if I bust out your windows.
Yep.
You would be able to sue me, and then you would be able to be compensated for that.
No, but I said that that's how it works today. I said if we didn't have a system of other men enforcing my rights for me, I would enforce it for myself. And I said that I will find you, beat you up, bust the windows out your car, and make you my slave, nigga. You'll be working for me.
Hold on, family. I'm actually going to have to call you back, family. The police,
nigga got pulled over.
Came upon me. good, partner? I was just checking on you. Yeah, everything's smooth. Okay, cool. I was worried you had a flat or some shit, so you're... No, we all good. All right, man. Have a good night, bud. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Officer coming up. Yeah, I was gonna say don't end the live stream. That's good. You talk to him proper. Checking up on you. Okay, fair enough. You did good. You did good, brother. You did good. You did good. Matter of fact, you should have put the camera like, yo, this No Fugazi podcast. Give a shout. I would have been like, officer, we live. Respect that, black brother. But nah, he respected you. He said, no problem. You good. Okay, see? So as you see, you are not a victim.
No, actually, I am. Not in that situation. I wasn't. In that situation, I wasn't. But we are definitely, as blacks, typically we are definitely oppressed. Like as far as
time out
with the police.
Real quick. I gotta real quick.
In the law, for sure.
Before you speak further. This was literally, we speaking about the victim mindset. We speaking about oppression. We speaking about black people being treated unfairly. We speaking about all of these things. And my man literally got stopped by the police, and a cop came up to his car, asked him one question. I see you parked here. I just wanted to make sure you good. He checking up on you. He doing doing his service. You want to make sure you good as a citizen. And you say two words. Oh nah, I'm just parked here. Everything's all good. He didn't further question you or anything. He just let you off. Not let you off, meaning that you are off. You good. You free. You not oppressed. You not a victim.
Now in that situation,
this was a prime example.
In that situation, check me out.
No Fugazi.
Go ahead.
In that situation, everything was smooth in that situation. But I've had other situations where, because I'm going to just say it like this. In general, the police are in place to protect women and white people. Okay, I'm just going to say that. For the most part.
Your own experience just proved that wrong.
Nah, wait, check me out.
He was looking out for you.
That was one situation. I'm gonna talk about some other situations though.
But time out real quick. This is an example that's live. That's gonna be to thousands of people that we can all see that nigga. He just asked you if you good. He literally said, "I just want to see if you good." And you said, "Oh yeah, I'm good." He said, "All right, man, have a good day."
Yeah, that's true. You're right. In that situation, everything was smooth. But I have had some run-ins. Now I'm with you. I had the same.
It's always that butt that come in. Okay, fair enough.
I had the same exact perspective as you. Like, oh, you know what I'm saying? It's all fair. Everything's cool. You know, there ain't nothing wrong with it.
No. I don't have that perspective. I don't think that everything is all fair, and I don't think that everything is all cool. I don't think that.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think that at all.
I actually had experiences that shaped my point of view as far as with the police. One time. I give a couple situations. I had one situation.
Just give me one for sake of time. So I'm gonna bring some more people up.
Okay. Yeah, I had this female. I was dealing with her, and she was acting the fool inside my crib, and so I ended up calling the police, to rectify the situation. And they came up there. I told the officer, this woman is, she's fucking up she's fucking the windows up. I'm giving them the story. It was two officers. So I tell him the story, and he don't ID the girl. He like, he ID me. No, we need your ID. I'm like, well, y'all need my ID? All right, cool. I give them the ID. They like, yeah, we got to run you for warrants. They not saying they not saying nothing to the girl. They just this you no nigga you.
You had warrants?
I didn't have no warrants.
Good for you. All right.
But so that was just one situation where they were just targeting me. It was I called them to help me.
You know why?
And they didn't really have nothing to say to her.
You know why? I'll tell you why.
Targeting me.
I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
You know why they now let's just say you called the police, and I would say that was wrong for them to, ask you for your ID. Well, that's not wrong for them to ask you for your ID, but to just say that, hey, I'm going to run you for warrants instead of dealing with the problem with what you called for. So that ain't. that isn't the best protocol. That's not the best protocol. You get a call and you like, oh, well, instead of dealing with the call first, I'm going to deal with this nigga first, or let's see if we could catch somebody on something. I wouldn't say that that's the best protocol. So fair enough. Got it, right? But life isn't fair. You just got to get used to life not being fair as a man and as a woman too. But it's a little bit more fair for a chick. But anyways, because men created it this way. But anyways, why do you think it is? Why do you think that he ran your license to see if you had any warrants? I'll tell you why. The reason why is because most likely in your neighborhood, there's a lot of crimes that happen that was by black people that look similar to you. So this is a form of, what is this? A form of stereotype. Of course, they're prejudging, prejudice, stuff like that. Not necessarily. Whoa, real quick, not necessarily racism. Just because you go through every human being goes through adversities. They go through prejudice because we all prejudge. We have our consciousness. In order for us to be conscious, we have a measuring system that measures good, bad, indifferent. We have this measure, right or wrong. So we have this measuring system where we prejudge anyway. So there's not any human being on the face of this planet that hasn't gone through adversities, hasn't been seen like they were treated unfair, or hasn't been a victim of someone being prejudging them. Right? That's natural. Racism is different. That's when you're prejudging them. That's when you're prejudiced based off of race. No, he was prejudging you based off of niggas that act stupid that just happen to look like you. So there's bad people that look like you that did bad things that ruined it. It created a stereotype. It's a stereotype. Stereotypes are rooted in some truth, bro. It's just rooted in some truth. Now, it's not to say that we don't know the person's mind. I'm just giving you another side of it. It's not to say that
I don't think
the nigga could have been racist.
I think it was racist.
Okay, so think about it. It's two things you got to look at. He actually could have been racist, and he could have been like, oh, a black guy? Let me just run his ID because, I don't like niggas at all, and I want to try to arrest all niggas. That could have been his mindset.
That was the vibe.
Okay, that could have been his mindset. But the other part that you don't know, since you don't know his mind, he could have just been like, bro, the last 7 calls I got was from black people having warrants. Is this like, it's a stereotype in his mind now that's like, which is natural. Nigga, when you go to a Chinese spot, everybody say, chicken fried rice. You even say junk like that. Duck sauce, egg foo young. Everyone does these accents based off of stereotypes, based off things that we are used to seeing. When we experience things, we observe patterns. And when we observe patterns, we create stereotypes. And we create stereotypes, we do prejudge to an extent. But it's not like they're prejudging. You can go to the far extent, like I granted you, and say he could be a racist dude that hates black people. Or we can say he's prejudging, he's being prejudiced based off of stereotypes, not based off of like the hate of him hating black people. Because that's two different things. I think that when someone is judging based off the race of your skin, it's like lack of knowledge, and it's more like hatred almost. It's like, I don't really like black people, so I'm prejudging you based off of you being black, not based off of my experiences with these type of people, which then created the stereotype in my head, which I could be right or wrong about you. But it's not that I hate you. It's just that I've experienced this so much that let me check your ID and run it for a warrant. I'm just giving you another perspective. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, so basically you're saying that a lot of black guys, black people have fucked up. So therefore,
think about it, nigga. If this wasn't live, okay, go ahead. Yeah, I'll let you land your plane.
So therefore, if they do prejudge us and mistreat us, it's kind of our fault because of other black people that fucked up. Is that pretty much your position?
Yeah, that's how the world works, bro.
Nah, man.
Not every. That's not how everybody views it. That's how a lot. Like, why do you think Mexicans work a lot?
Actually, and I disagree. And I also disagree.
Okay.
Well.
Do you think Mexicans work a whole lot?
They work. I mean, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. I guess.
Why do you think they work a whole lot? Because it's a stereotype, nigga, that they at that border, climbing that border, hopping over the fence, coming in here and working a whole lot, mowing lawns, doing mad stuff. You know why that stereotype is there? Because it's rooted in some truth. Because them niggas do be working hard. You get what I'm saying? Why do you think that it's a stereotype that black people be late? Because guess what, nigga? Niggas do be late.
But check
Not
this out,
all, but niggas do be late.
But check this out. Some of the stereotype about black people is propaganda, though. Some of it is propaganda.
Sure.
Some of it is
I'm sure it's
some of it is purpose, like the way that they put us on TV, the way that they cast us on TV. I'll give you an example. That Daryl Brooks, you know the Daryl Brooks case.
I'm be honest, I didn't look into it.
Okay, okay. So the guy that represented himself, he was driving in the car. He drove into the parade, and he was ran over a bunch of people at a parade. It was a black dude, light skinned guy.
How long ago was this?
It was within the last 10 years. It was.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't remember, but make your point.
So they showed this trial damn near from start to finish. They basically broadcasted it and showed, like, typically when you see a trial, you don't get to see it from start to finish, and it's not usually you can see little clips of it here and there. They purposely broadcasted this trial and pushed it. And I believe it was so whenever a black person is in a certain type of situation, like a legal situation, if he's in court, people will think, oh, Daryl Brooks, attribute black people to this guy. Because they usually don't show full cases of full trials. So I believe that they broadcasted this whole trial. So so now
you're stating your argument for propaganda. I see what you're saying.
Now whenever you're a black man and you're representing yourself, it's Daryl Brooks. They call you Daryl Brooks when you try to. A lot of times they'll compare you to Daryl Brooks if you try to represent yourself in court. And they purposely did that. You could tell because I say they purposely did it because they don't usually show full trials and blow them up and stuff like that. They purposely did that.
I mean, they show many full trials, man.
That's just an example.
That isn't a good example of propaganda because it's many trials that they show publicly and depending on what happened and so forth, it can be blown up. But anyways, let's get back on topic, right? So
yeah, a lot of it's propaganda.
I can say this. A lot
of it's propaganda.
What you just experienced, right? Because it's all about the lens you look through it. Let's just say this. Let's say if it was another person, not you, but they had the same situation that happened on Live Today. You're in a car live on YouTube and a cop walks up to your window and asks you, hey, you good, man? I'm just checking on you to make sure you're good. And you say, yeah, officer, I'm good. And then the officer walks away. A different person, a different black person, they can experience that same thing that you just experienced and they can call the victim card. They can say, well, why did he walk up to my window? Did he see that I was black and he wanted to check up on me? That cop is racist. So what I'm saying is, since you don't truly know what's in the person's head, it's not best to just always insinuate the worst. That's what females do. Females are neurotic creatures, meaning that they look at everything from a negative prism. Usually, not everything, but they look at most things through a negative prism. Like they have negative feelings about most situations. As a man, you have to think logical. So you can think like, well, he could have been racist and he could just hate me and hate the color of my skin and hate black people. Or he could have been doing his job. He could have, stopped many other people throughout this month that was actually had warrants and stuff like that kind of resemble me. So it created the stereotype, which some stereotypes are rooted to some truth. And cops are cops there for a reason. To they cops. They trying to find something out. That's what they do. You only be a cop if you want to find. Listen, nigga, I'm saying this. You only be a cop if you. I got you.
I don't think that situation is racist.
One of the reasons why you a cop, nigga, because you want to protect, serve, but nigga, you have one of the motives because you probably a nosy nigga anyway. You want to find some stuff out. That's why you a cop, bro. That's why if one of your homies is telling on somebody like, oh, this nigga a cop, or this nigga doing research, or this chick a cop. Like, dang, like, why you looking at all of this stuff and want to find stuff out? You should just, you know what I mean, work for the FBI or something. Because you have this natural thing about you to be nosy and stuff like that. These niggas are cops for a reason because they have a natural tendency to be asking mad questions to find something out. That's why they're a cop. But listen, man, good conversation. I
got more arguments, but yeah, I have to call back in.
Your arguments wasn't the best there, man. But I'll tell you this.
Yeah, I'm gonna be more prepared this time. I just freestyled. I just came in.
You freestyle. I like the conversation. I freestyle too. This is how I do it. It's all freestyle. And mind you, I'm less unprepared because at least you get to prepare before you call in. This is live for me, and people call in and say all crazy types of stuff. So this is all on the spot for myself. But I'll tell you this. Watch this part back. And the questions that I asked you in the beginning and stuff, just think about that and try to broaden your perspective where you're just not viewing things from your own little box. Try to get outside of your box and think about how someone else could view it. You know what I'm saying? Because this was mostly this conversation was about. It wasn't really a debate. It was more of a conversation. But blessings to you, man. I hope the best for you. And have a blessed one, brother.
Yeah, appreciate you, man. Appreciate your show.
All right, man.
All right, fam.
Welcome to No Fugazee Podcast. You up, man?
Brother, man, thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be here, bro. I'm a fan of yours.
I appreciate it.
You caught me right when I was just, thumbing around, just getting some work done. And I realized you were live and I was like, holy crap, so let me just be real quick. My name's Leo Bridgewater. I'm 50 years old, born and raised right here in Trenton, New Jersey. I've done multiple tours in Iraq and Afghanistan as a soldier and a contractor. And
appreciate your service, man.
My honor. I have two sons, one who's a senior in high school right now and another who's 10 years younger and just really heavy into martial arts and cartoons. So
that's dope. Okay, the martial arts part is dope, but cartoons is a motivator, right? Depending on what cartoons.
Hey, he's 8, so everything is
you put him up on Dragon Ball Z yet?
You know what? His brother did.
Oh yeah, he in the right direction. Then he going down the right path.
Oh.
If you watch DBZ at 8, you going down the right path.
I'm enjoying them because at this age, I'm not. It's watching both boys, and again, like I said, my oldest is a senior in high school, so I'm actually enjoying this time, and that's what brings me here because I oftentimes the best part of my day is when I'm taking him to school because that's just us talking, and sometimes we even talk about some of the things that I hear or he hears or see on your show on your podcast.
Oh, okay, he watches my podcast.
Yeah, we both do. I bring it up because there are things.
That's what's up.
Yeah, well, I always have to be, and just full disclosure, I'm on my second marriage. 10 years in, my first was to his mom. And my first marriage only lasted about 5 years, and the thing that broke us apart was I was gone for 4 out of the 5 because I was always on deployment and stuff like that. So we just were two people who grew into very different people when I got back, but we co-parent just fine. My current wife now, we've been married for at least 10 years now. So I'm happy, and again, like I said, I just turned 50 last month.
Shout out to you, man. 50, that's a big number, man. That's a big number.
Like I still can't believe I'm 50. Like, where did that come from? And
that's a blessing, man. Kobe ain't even make it to that number. When you think about things, and Kobe, that's our nigga. He ain't even make it there.
Perspective, yes.
Proper perspective, you know what I mean? So, I mean, shout out to 50, man. Shout out to 50.
Thank you, man. Thank you. It still blows my mind that I'm here. And believe me when I tell you, you will feel this way as well. Because it's just like, oh, wow, that was a fast 50. But one of the things that I often, when me and my son are discussing maybe something we might have heard or what have you, is when you're talking about, like with women. And I always have to, remember I said I have to be a different frame of reference for him. you know. And one of the things that I'm always pointing out to him is, I listen to your advice, and I think it's great advice for this time and time. And we often have to, and I often have to give him a different perspective in regards to caliber of woman in which we're dealing with, because I think a lot of times that's the perspective that I think a lot of the women that you talk to are missing. It's going over their head. You know, we're talking caliber of woman, and then we're also looking at, and this is where it goes back to him and I's favorite argument. We, you know, father son, we always argue LeBron and Jordan. You know, and I always tell him, you know, it's about eras. You know what I'm saying? And so when I talk about caliber of women, and in reference to my wife and I, we're from a different era, not that far back, but a different era. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think the thing is that a lot of the questions or apprehension that you may have, and the protections that you have to take as a man today, and this is the same thing with my son. You know, it wasn't like that for me when I was coming up, and when I was you know.
Yeah, essentially what you're saying is, you know, back in the day when you were coming up, you know, before, I mean, feminism was still out there, but, you know, before it really influenced society to the degree that it has. And then with the technology, with, you know, the dating apps, with social media and all of these other things influencing men and women, and also the sexual liberation of women themselves, that changed a lot. So the things that he has to have in place, these prerequisites that he has to look for in a woman, is a little bit much different from what you had to look for in a woman, because he kind of has to have his guard up a little bit because these chicks are scandalous. It's not to say them chicks wasn't scandalous back then, but it says, you're saying that the society that we're living in right now with technology and everything, it's much different.
Absolutely. I think one of the things that we always, like I tell my son is that you have to know the difference between, you know, being an alpha male versus being a masculine man. You know, and there's a difference, you know, and as someone who has, like I said, you know, I've been to war a number of times and seen it act out on other people.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I testified in Senate committee to have PTSD added as a qualifying condition to the New Jersey medical marijuana program, and Governor Christie signed my bill into law, helping veterans and making cannabis making PTSD the very first mental health condition. I bring that up to say, as someone who has known success in that arena, where you have to, you know, in both, and I don't want to call war success, but having survived war, and then also having to navigate using my civic responsibilities to make this world a better place. You know, these are things that, you know, there's the alpha male, and then there's the masculine man, and knowing which one, figuring out which one you want to be, you know, because the alpha male is someone that is always on the hunt. The masculine man is comfortable within his own skin and knows when to recognize that masculine male and let him be who he is without feeling as though it's an indictment on you as a man.
Yeah, I think, you know, in regards to masculinity and alpha, because, you know, an alpha can't be unmasculine. I would say you're not really you can't be not masculine. You can't be feminine and be an alpha.
No.
So yeah, that doesn't correlate. So it's like everyone is alpha in some way, at some circumstances, at some point in their life, depending on the situation. Like if you're a captain of the football team, you're the alpha of that football team, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you're the alpha in that way, but then when you go to work, you work your 9 to 5 or something, you ain't the alpha in that situation. Your boss is, or your manager is. You get what I'm saying? So in regards to that type of, you have to be able to differentiate things when you're speaking about alpha masculinity. The main thing, I never speak about alpha too much, because it's like, masculinity is what you really need to strive to be. Because, you know, are you really like Elon Musk, the most richest man in the world, with Donald Trump? Is he the alpha? No, he's not the alpha.
Right.
But even though he's the richest, he's not the alpha in that circumstance. Trump is the alpha.
Right.
So
it's funny because when you talk about like,
go ahead.
When you say these things, when you put it in that perspective, there's for a lot of people that, especially now, I call them the youngins, that's disturbing to the spirit. If you see how they move and how they operate, because I see a lot of youngins get caught up in their feelings very easily, more like in a feminine type of way. A lot of things, a lot of actions that I see people take are based on emotion. And one of the things I always tell, and I tell my oldest and my youngest, learn to get control of your emotions so that your emotions don't control you.
That's a fact.
And you have to learn, because one of the things that you can never not be is functional. You always have to remain functional, regardless of how bad a circumstance is. Listen, my mom passed away on Christmas Day, having just had cut up 26 turkeys to feed the homeless. Now here's the thing: do I become emotional and oh no, my mom died on Christmas, or do I take hold or take that power, not give up that power, and do something to honor my mom on Christmas, like go out and finish the job that she was doing, feeding the homeless every summer.
Man, you as a man, you can't fall apart. Fall apart. You got to step up to the plate and take the necessary position. So,
another question for you too.
Okay, cool. And I'm gonna settle down, but get your question in, man.
Do you yourself regularly counsel with someone older than yourself? Like, do you have regular counsel?
Regular counsel? Yeah. No, I have no regular counsel. I don't regularly counsel with people older than myself. I speak to a lot of I got wise people around me, and people that I would say not really look for from guidance, but in order to I would say, like, even this conversation, I'm listening to you. In order to be a leader, you got to be able to listen. In order to, be an intelligent, wise person, you're listening, you're soaking in information. So I can already tell right off the bat when you came in respectful. You told me your age. I'm like, okay, right off the bat, I'm going to respect the age just because he's experienced more than I experienced. And you came on and you're a supporter of the podcast. So right then and there, it's like, all right, let me just hear him speak and, get his perspective on things. It's not to say that I don't know the things that you're speaking about, but at the end of the day, it's a time and a place for any man to, know when to, listen, soak up some game. Even if you seems like you heard it before, maybe this person could say it in another way where it's like something may click, something else may click. So, man, I'm always intuitive and soaking up game from many different avenues.
I say keep doing what you're doing the way that you're doing. The only piece of advice I have for you, older black man, a younger black man, is you and you don't have to put that person out in the front or front street or anything like that, but counsel with someone, like talk, just have regular conversations. It don't have to always be about guidance. Sometimes you could just get that guidance.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Experiences and stuff like that,
Yeah, man, for sure, man. I got 3 brothers, man. I'm chop it up with my oldest one a lot. And then my other. Yeah, so I know my one brother, he calls me a lot, man. I trust me, throughout my life, sports, certain work, certain traumas and tribulations that I went through, my one brother, man, listen, if he wasn't in my corner, bruh, it wouldn't have been, I wouldn't even be doing this podcast, man. Put it like that. Cause my one brother, man, I got 2 of them that's really in my corner. That's always been through with me. But the one, man, trust and believe, bro, homie was motivation from the beginning. Like, at the end of the day, if all odds is against me, my one brother there, he like, nah, listen, he'll always speak to me the best that's in me. He'll always speak the best that's in me because he'll see the best that's in me. So I always had that, man. That's one thing that was always good. And I think when people don't have that people then try to seek that out. And that's why I do these podcasts and I do coaching, so I can be that, so I can be my bigger brother for other people, man.
Bro,
so,
listen,
yeah.
You help, like what you do for me and my son is you help spark conversations. I don't always agree, but that's the point.
For sure. Yeah.
Perspectives, but one of the things he just revealed to me, like a couple of weeks ago, and I was laughing my ass off, but he said to me, he said, Dad, he's president of his Kappa League, and he's going through getting all these different acceptance to colleges and stuff. And he said to me, he said, Dad, and he said, in his Kappa League and in his friend group, he has the same nickname. They call him Unc.
they call him Unc. So he got like an old spirit then.
Right. Yeah. I was like,
they call the name Unc.
Yeah. And, well, see, here's the thing though. When he said it, he you know how like, oh, Dad, they call me Unc. And I said, wait a minute, hold on, wait. Are you
now? You the OG if they calling you Unc.
Right, but he didn't. It was going over his head. Okay.
Yeah. It's going because Unc isn't really like the cool one, the one that's flashy and stuff. Unc is the one that's more conserved and you know. I asked him like, what are the circumstances? Like, how did this come about? And it turns out this is always the one that's like saying stuff like, oh, you might want to think about going to a HBCU like my parents did. You know what I'm saying? He'll like that. I said to him, I said, son. You mean like giving advice and things? Yes. Giving advice. Yeah. Okay. Facts.
And I said to him, I said, son, there's no way you could live with me and not some of me,
and not pick that up.
Yeah.
Facts.
Exactly.
That means you instilling into him. That's a good thing, man.
That's why I'm having. Remember, I told you I'm having a good time with this because there are certain situations that are actually turning out the way that I predicted they would. So
that's a blessing. Yeah, you seeing.
And that's why I said I'm enjoying it.
You seeing that the influence, you're influencing him down a good path in a good direction.
And
it's a beautiful thing to see.
Listen, when you get, remember how you said shout out to 50 and everything like that. That's why I'm having such a good time at this age with him going through this, and then I got the 8-year-old coming up next, and it's like okay. Like I see, and you're saying that, and now you can see like, okay, maybe some things that you could change or alter so the 18-year-old can be more on a straighter path. But not only that, one of the things I think that is good for fathers to instill into like the older son is, listen, you got to be a good example for your younger son, for your younger brother, because you are the oldest, you the first. If whatever mistakes you make, he more likely to follow if you don't learn from those mistakes and change your behavior, because we all going to make some mistakes, but it's about changing your behavior. And then also you want to try to make as less mistakes as possible. You got to be the prime example, because the thing is, in that family dynamic, the crazy thing is the 8-year-old never really see you go through adversities and overcome them. He will only see his brother go through those adversities and overcome them. This is why the older brother needs to be that example. But listen, man, I'm going to get to these super chats, brother. I appreciate you, man. Hey, man, thank you for having me on, bro. And like I said, man, keep doing what you're doing. And if you get an opportunity, bro, and I say this humbly, Google me, Google my name. You'll be proud. A lot of the things that I've done and where I've been at and the things I'm doing right now, you're going to love it. I promise you, okay?
You said Leo Bridgewater, right?
Yep. I'm that guy. Remember my face. You'll see my face and everything. But, yeah, I did all those things, man, okay?
All right, man. I'll check you out, brother.
Good talking to you, man. Thank you for being you, bro.
All right, man. Have a blessed one. Peace. Spin City, I see you in here just chilling, brother. Hit me in a private chat, man. Or unless you want to come up, but let me get to these super chats real quick. All right, we got Melinda G. Welcome to the gang. Shout out to you, Melinda. You joined the membership. Melinda also sends in $10. She says, he looks half Asian, so that side of the family should pay the other half reparations, right? Okay. You talking about the light-skinned dude I had up here. Said, homie did kind of look a little Asian. I ain't gonna hold you. I can see what you saying. Then we got DTX is in $2. Beta male just wants free money. Okay, we got Melinda G says in $10. She says, get him, Cooley. Okay, shout out to you, Melinda, supporting the podcast. OD. Melinda again says, a white cop at that. Yeah, man. So that's the thing. Like, homie, a white cop done came to his car like, yo, you good? He said, yeah, I'm good. That's all you want, officer? Yeah, I'm just checking on to make sure you good. All right, peace. So listen, man, it was proven in 4K on No Fugazee podcast. Like, a lot of his claims got debunked quick. We got Lord Geotron. Shout out to Lord Geotron.
No Fugazi.
Lord Geotron back in the building. He says, big shout out to Cooley, the whole chat, all the supporters, and the whole squad at No Fugazee podcast. From the Lord of Hosts, day one, Lord Geotron. That is true. Lord Geotron has definitely, and he got a 12-month membership. Lord Geotron is a day one. He's a complete day one. Homie was here when I had I think I remember seeing his super chats on the first few live streams I ever did. Lord Geotron was popping up. So shout out to Lord Geotron, man. All right, man. Okay, man. Okay, Spin City, I see you in here. I just read your chat. Okay, you just in here chilling, man. Hey, Spin City. Listen, bro, go back and watch some of the little people I brung up. It was good conversations because I know you came in late, so go back and watch it. You're going to like it, brother. You're going to like it. But yo, I've been streaming for 4 hours, so I'm about to literally end stream. If you would have came in early, I would have brung you up. We could have just chopped it up live. On Wednesday, I was doing push-ups. I had a push-up competition. Did you peep? Yeah, you gonna hit me up? Oh yeah, hit me up. But Wednesday stream was funny, man. I had a whole push-up competition. People was on here. We was doing push-ups. Some nigga came on here, did 100 push-ups. The chat was ripping them, saying that they were he wasn't going all the way down at all. But I mean, he still did 100. So it is what it is. I did 50. And then my other said I probably did 50, and then I wasn't really doing any push-ups, nigga. My arms all the blood was already there. The blood was there. You got that first set to get the most out of me. That first set, I get 75. First set, I'm getting 75, but a set right after that, nigga, I am not about to hit 75 again. It's going to be 50. But all right, man, this podcast is No Fugazi. Appreciate all of y'all for tuning in. The next live stream, I'm doing a debate with Raging Tomatoes tomorrow on toxic masculinity, and I'm debating probably some feminist or something like that. But that's not going to be streamed on my channel. Going to be streamed on her channel. But I'll probably post the link on just a post so y'all can watch it live. But then if not, if y'all don't check that out live, I'll post some clips of the debate the day after. So on Tuesday, you'll see some clips of that debate. Then we got Wednesday. No debate night on Wednesday. Wednesday, I'm posting clips of stuff. But then the next live stream is going to be most likely on Sunday. Full panel of girls this Sunday as well. Because, we are ending the full panel girl show, weekly full panels girl show. And even bi-weekly full panel girl show. It ends at the end of this month. Starting in May, we only doing debates. We doing reactions, and I got a podcast starting with Marquette, Saint in the Center. That's going to be starting soon too. And then I'm going to still do a full panel of girls show, but it's going to be once in a blue moon. If I get a celebrity come on, I want to sit with a panel of chicks and we go ahead and hash it out. I'll do it once in a blue moon, maybe once every 2 months or something like that. I'll do a full panel girls show. But y'all like the debates anyway, man. So this is what I'm giving y'all, the content that y'all appreciate and that y'all support. Not saying that y'all don't support the girls show. Y'all definitely still 100% support the girls show. But I mean, this was the plan anyway from the start to, do that and then kind of funnel that out and bring in some debates and bring in some, getting a worldview out there and challenging other people's worldviews. But anyways, other than that, man, this podcast was No Fugazi. Appreciate y'all. Have a blessed one.
No Fugazi.
Out. Actually, Gabby, off. You done. And you want to leave too? This is how our relationship goes. God over man, man over woman, woman over children.